If you're just acting on your own behalf for yourself, you cannot be acting as a person. Does everybody understand what I just said? A man or woman has to be acting on behalf of these legal entities because that's the only way a legal entity may act.
Puppets can only act through puppeteer.
However, you cannot be a person in this context, in this statutory context, when you are only acting on your own behalf. If I'm not acting in a representative capacity on behalf of another, whether it's another man or woman or another legal fictitious entity, I cannot be a statutory person. Right, guys.
Good luck with that part. The beans is already all over the table.
That's true. All right. So welcome everyone to today's call. Today is allegedly the 24th day of the first month year of our Lord 3. And we're gathered here today for Bible study. We're continuing our conversation that we've been having. Love and peace to all, even the bad actors. Yes. Because by the time we get done with them, not even by the time we get done with them, right now, start praying for them. Start praying for them right now. Because what has been happening over the last 200 plus years, on this land we call North America is a takeover of private lives by public agents using public law and, unfortunately, private people without any oath of office, without any delegation of authority to act on behalf of Congress, are volunteering to act in the public without any credentials.
You're like Michael Jackson, a smooth criminal.
A smooth criminal? Criminal, right. Well, Charles, you might remember when we used to start off, when Michi was with us, we used to start off by saying, like the criminals we all are. Okay, because they literally have us out here committing crimes. The main crime being false personation. Who's familiar with false personation?
Identity theft first, and then everything after.
Well, we're being drag queens.
We're getting dragged in. Okay, so we start here. This is what they have us. This is what they're doing. They're impersonating officers of the United States. They're impersonating employees of the United States. And then they're trying to make us impersonate officers and employees of the United States. And it says, whoever falsely assumes or pretends to be an officer or employee acting under the authority of the United States or any department, agency, or officer thereof, acts as such in such pretend character, demands or obtains money, paper, document, or anything of value, shall be fined under this title and imprisoned no more than 3 years or both. Ooh, what's every judge in every single courtroom doing?
To me, they're not even actually official. They're just all private. They're just doing private business. None of that shit is official.
Yeah, but they're pretending. They're pretending to be.
Because we think it is.
Well, yes, we think it is, and they go along with it.
Right. We don't correct the record.
We're confused. We say things like, I have a court date next week. How many of you guys have heard I have a court date since our last conversation on Thursday? You've heard somebody say.
I've heard of several say it to me.
Between last Thursday and today, how many times have you heard I have a court date from somebody in your life or online?
Twice at least.
Yeah, twice for me.
Yeah, I have.
Twice for me already.
Maybe we should change it to we're having a date on the court.
They about to give me just compensation right now. That's all I'm going to call it.
So every administrator would be guilty.
I have just been offered just compensation.
Maybe we should change it to I have a public orgy this week.
You're talking sexual, Bobby.
Let's talk about sex, baby.
Because it's all about intercourse. It's all about intercourse. As I mentioned on a call yesterday, commercial fucking.
So every administrator would be guilty of that, including the sheriff.
Well, maybe not the sheriff, but they might be the only one if so. Okay.
No, if the sheriff come to your house unofficially on that private bullshit, court bullshit, that's illegal.
Well, I mean, if they're in uniform, yes, it would be a violation. If they're in uniform, giving private process.
If they're selling private property for auction as county property,
Correct.
or a
Correct.
debt.
Well, absent contract.
Absent contract.
With the county, but not with you.
Right. They got that what's that agreement called?
Private shit.
Collective bargaining agreement. How could I
Yeah,
never remember
collective
that when I'm on
bargaining
the call?
agreement.
Right, so-
Collective bargaining agreement. That's what they're
The
doing.
zone
They
improvement plan.
That sounds like
right. Enforcing their zone improvement plan.
So we could
So-
really say absent presumption of contract. That'd be better.
No, they
Pretty much.
always do presume contract though. They automatically presume contract
Sure.
because they want to enforce something.
Well,
Who was it? Who was on here where somebody said they were talking to the sheriff and the sheriff was like, "I'm your authority." Was that you, Cindy? The sheriff said, "I'm your authority."
No, not me.
Okay, somebody on here posted last week where the sheriff said, "I'm your authority," because the sheriff wants to have authority over people, and they do have authority over certain people, like their deputies.
Right. Blue collar workers.
Okay, they have authority over the people they're arresting, whether they are the mayor, the chief of police, the clerk of a court. Okay. A policy officer of any kind, the auditor, that's who they can arrest. So we've been having an as above, so below conversation. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. Woman, is your question relevant to what we're going over today?
Yes, we have been enjoying it. Absolutely.
Who gets to arrest the sheriff?
The coroner.
I mean, I can wait till the end.
Okay.
That's not true. Well, he can, but he won't do it. Let him
Yeah,
just
we're
go.
not saying will they do their job. We're saying who had what office has the job. So if you look in your state statutes, which we're going to go over partially today, you will see they have a hierarchy of arresting and serving. So for example, when I did a habeas corpus and who needed to be served was the sheriff, the clerk of the court served the sheriff, our habeas. The clerk of the court is what it said in Oklahoma, is who can serve the jailer.
That's why the powers inherent in the people have to be strong enough to enforce the Constitution that they've sworn to
Yes,
uphold.
absolutely. There's a meme somebody made. Y'all might have seen the meme. It's a stick figure man. He has a stick in his hand and he's poking at something. So the meme changes depending on what's being poked. So people will put all types of things that's being poked by the stick figure man. Has anybody seen that meme? So someone took that meme and they put the Constitution underneath the stick. And the meme says, "Do something." That's what the meme says. Go ahead and do something. I find that meme very cynical because it's when you're saying to the paper, do something, we all know paper cannot, and we cannot just be like, well, the paper exists, they should just do it. How we sound. Since the paper exists, you should just follow it. Who here has ever disobeyed a rule or order from their own parents that made their life possible? Anybody else on here disobeyed their own parents that they live
It was
with?
a habit.
That they live with, right? And know you could get in trouble. Did you disobey anyway?
Yeah.
Who out here disobeyed anyway? They know they might get punished in some type of way,
Not
put in the
me.
corner, grounded.
I did.
I was an angel.
So
I did by
our
my dad.
makers, if our own makers, our own earthly crafters, okay, we will disobey what they say. Why do you think that we would grow up, sign a pledge, and then just automatically from jump follow it to the T? Why would we assume that? Why would
Some
you
people
assume
do.
you would never, ever, ever
Some of you,
have to
of you
enforce
don't
the
get mamas and-
Constitution upon an officer that swore to uphold it? Why do we think that would never be the case? I want to see what y'all saying in the chat. They give enforcers. I don't need no badge. I don't need no stinking badge. I do need to take out my other earring though.
I had to hear the
I
judges.
got a license and I don't give a fuck.
Hey, brother.
Hey, Keith, welcome.
She says,
Hey, Keith.
federal laws don't apply here. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh yeah, we about to go over that in a
Certification
second.
installed.
We gonna about to go over that in a second because that just reminded me of here where it talks about the supremacy clause. You see right here, This is what everyone needs to know and memorize. The Supremacy Clause. See preemption. Article 6, paragraph 2 of the United States Constitution, commonly known and referred to as the Supremacy Clause. It establishes that the federal constitution and federal laws take precedent over state laws and even state constitution. Supremacy Clause.
USC 112 and one USC 204 both supported.
So we're
Where-
gonna go over what I put together in purple. Again, this is the same document. I hope everybody has started their own. We're using Article 1 of the federal constitution to show their subject matter jurisdiction, their personal jurisdiction, their territorial jurisdiction, and their in rem jurisdiction. That's what I needed to type here. Okay?
At law, Andrews.
Everybody should have this. We're talking about Article 1, Article 1, Section 8, clauses 1, 3, 10, 14, and 17. The reasons why we're choosing these particular ones is because it best exemplifies the subject matter in personal jurisdiction and territorial jurisdiction and in rem. Okay. So when we are going through this exercise, we're going to make a congruent line connecting all the dots so that we can no longer be afraid when these dummies say stuff like the Constitution, we don't go by the federal Constitution. We know, dummy. That's why we're prosecuting you, because there can be no legitimate state or law or statute or county ordinance or whatever that can supersede the federal Constitution. So if the federal Constitution is limited to public acts, public persons, public places, right? If that's what their subject matter is, can a state or county or city make a statute, rule, or ordinance that touches private life,
No.
private
No,
business?
no.
But yet, private people say, "Oh, well, I'm not private yet." Do you have an oath of office? Because if you don't have an oath of office, you've been born private, and you have remained private your entire life.
And that leads us back to the presumption of the plebs, of the census of resident of the census, right?
And we're gonna talk about the census. We have to talk about the census. So in black was the first week, last week Tuesday when we first started going over this stuff. That's everything in black. Everything in blue is where we picked up on Thursday. Very important, this Secretary of Commerce, because this Commerce Clause, this Article 1, Section 8, Clause 3, this is why you have people who say all crimes are commercial. But I like to say all commerce is criminal.
So would it be fair to say all Article 9 courts are, Article 1 courts are commercial? Article 1, Section 8, Clause 9?
Every court moving under statute is commercial because
Right.
the statutes are for commerce, for commercial commerce or foreign commerce, interstate, international commerce.
So all registered business, all registered transactions are commercial.
In those tribunals.
Once they're
What is the article
statutory,
for?
they're interstate and foreign commerce.
And marshal.
Because everything they're doing is according to some statute that coincides with an IRS code somewhere. It's human trafficking.
Absolutely. And that's the
Right.
funny part. It always coincides with some part of Title 36. Because that's where they bring in the clause 1. These are inseparable. Okay? You cannot consider yourself doing commerce if you're not doing taxable activity.
Taxable transactions.
These are inseparable. All of them are really inseparable. This is the totality of their subject matter. You know, I had somebody say, they're talking to my husband because they're local. They're like, your wife says person doesn't apply to me, but person does apply to me. So for those who are having a hard time communicating to other people or maybe comprehending yourself, I'm going to suggest an exercise. What I did using the information that we're putting together here is I created another document that I encourage all of you guys to make for yourself. This document is called Wrong Party Defendant. Wrong Party Defendant. Doing my research for this document on lawful living, and I'm seeing stuff that Keith tagged me in last year when I was in the hospital. I was like, how did I miss this post? Oh yeah, I missed a lot, right? I was taken out for a couple of months. So it's because, and the reason I'm encouraging everybody to make this document is because this is the problem. This is the problem. Is it not the problem? Is the fact that we're being made defendants, although we're not supposed to be, we're not qualified to be, we're not certified to be.
Yeah, we're
Is
being
that not the problem?
we're being assigned as a legal accommodating party when the hearing does not take place to be certified or pre-qualified or pre-certified to be such.
Exactly. So I'm trying to make it very generic. This case was initiated under insert whatever code. So it doesn't matter if it's traffic, child support, foreclosure, or whatever. They're going to have a statute or they're going to reference a statute. Sometimes the attorneys try to get slick. They don't reference a statute. But we know they're moving under statute because the attorneys are in the public. Their whole jurisdiction is only and wholly public agency. So once they're involved, it's statutes. It's statutes. The revised codes of Washington were written by some council that is not the legislature, which means they can't make law, universal law. They cannot make law that's universally applicable to every man and woman that live, work, and play on the land commonly known as whatever that state is. They can't. They can only make bylaws for the corporations created under the states.
So they're making contractual guidelines that they can go by to induce other people to presumption, assumption of contract. And most people don't know they're even being assumed to be in a contract.
Yeah. And that's a big thing. We don't know that they're presuming a contract. We still are under the impression that they're presuming an actual harm to a man or woman. But that flies out the window when you look at the case and the only entity listed as plaintiff is a fictitious entity. That means you did not harm any man or woman.
Yeah, but it goes back to what you were saying before. If me and you start arguing like you owe me some money, and you start, you start fucking simulating the whole thing by arguing with me, and you don't owe me no money, then shit, we just made it valid.
Well, yeah. It's like what you resist persists.
Yeah, well, she'd have to privately notice you work it out in private. But if one of you ran to the court and asked for that artificial help, artificial intelligence of gang stalking, and they invited Charles to the court, you still got choice of volunteering, and they can handle her as she sees fit, and you could still handle her in private. But you have to volunteer for your side of the case, the privity of your side.
Right.
Okay. What the main thing that we know is being enforced in all those courts is this right here. Collecting taxes to pay the debt and interstate and foreign commerce, which is where the taxes lie. The taxes are for the privilege of participating in this interstate and foreign commerce nonsense. Okay. So I added this part here, 15 USC 17, where it says the labor of a human being is not a commodity or article of commerce. Who can explain why that's an important piece to know?
Because slavery is illegal and unlawful.
That is
When
true.
they get income, a person is worthy of their labor and their wages, but incomes takes on a totally different connotative meaning.
Exactly. That's why they didn't say the income. They said the labor.
The income is derived from an investment.
Exactly.
That investment is a monetary or financial investment in another.
Yes,
not
not
a
labor.
laborious investment in compensation.
And that happens to be, it always has to be concerning if you're among the collective property of the profit and gain.
Wow, you saw something posted recently? Because I saw like when I did
Hassan, your mic's hot, bro.
Yeah, but income is a gain. And if you're getting a gain, that means you're not 40, 50 years old, that means you're getting younger. You must be a baby by now.
Well, infancy, sure.
Okay. So last week we went over several parts of the state constitutions. I hope you guys went back in and found all the sections that were relevant, especially this part here about the census, especially that part there about the census, because the census
Mother
is
Malika, if I could just interject for just a second
yes.
before we move on to something else, just kind of going back to what we were already talking about. So say someone, I won't even say someone, me. I knew all of this information, but they came and detained me. And because I wanted to get out, they forced me to give Federal Reserve notes on a warrant to release my body. And they also have another warrant on me right now. So by me doing that, did I like put myself back in their jurisdiction? Did I consent to them
Do
holding?
you have an oath of office?
No.
Okay. So
Everything is an error,
your
omission, and
your people, they
impossibility.
have us conceptualizing rape and kidnapping as, did I somehow give them consent? Like what? It's
Okay.
rape and kidnapping.
Right.
It's identity theft, rape, and kidnapping.
Okay. So the warrant that they're holding over my head, that's still null and void
That's
regardless of
peonage.
what happened.
That's peonage.
Okay. Okay. I just
Eh,
wanted to verify.
Okay, everything that they try to talk about is irrelevant. You have to look at it as criminal activity, period. If you do
Yep.
not have, if you cannot qualify, you see right here, see where they get to define the punishment for piracy and felonies committed where? On the high seas. Were you on the high
And
seas?
against the law of nations. And this
Okay.
is why everybody portrays that you have to have that nationality. No, you can establish yourself as a micronation not yet established.
You have to have a hearing to be qualified and certified to accept that warrant because you can't guarantee the warrant because you're not legally certified to make deposits and withdrawals.
Absolutely. And they won't serve it to me. There's no due process going on with it at all.
I don't know who they ever have served a warrant to. I've never met somebody that they were like, here is an actual warrant, like that is legit. So most of the times, 90+% of the times, they have no paper warrant. The few times, that they have a paper warrant, it's incomplete. It's not specific as the Fourth Amendment requires.
Absolutely. That's my case right now. And when I actually spoke to the sheriff about it. And instead of him, I read in the juror's handbook, blah, blah, blah. And when I spoke to him about it, he directed me to the Judiciary Disciplinary Committee and said, as long as they don't change the rules and they don't say that the judge or the magistrate, quote unquote, was in the wrong.
It's not for another man to say.
Absolutely.
The rules are already written. It's the sheriff saying, well, if they ignore the rules, I'm going to ignore the rules. That's what he's saying.
Absolutely.
Well,
Yes,
we have to
what he's basically
reiterate that.
telling me is that he's
to
going
them.
to detain me.
We
As long
have
as
to
they have
reiterate that to them. Are you saying that you're going to break the law because this guy over here told you to break the law?
Oh, wow. Okay, I got you. Okay.
Malika,
Yeah.
as a veteran and being arrested, I have been what you showed us this far, what a valid warrant is supposed to be like or supposed to entail. I've never seen one.
You
Never
see what I'm
seen one.
saying? Never seen one.
Well,
Right.
the sheriff's saying
You get down there.
the sheriff's saying he's got probable cause because he was sent there. So if he's saying he's got probable cause, even though he thinks he's acting within his job description because he does have probable cause.
Right.
What-
That's what he was saying. Like, as long as they don't tell him not to do anything else, he's going to do what he's told to.
Right. So wouldn't you?
Right.
wouldn't
That's
you-
why I love this shirt. Has
Yeah.
your sheriff even read the Constitution? Because they
What
took an
they-
oath to obey the Constitution and uphold the Constitution. They did not take an oath to uphold or obey the
In the spirit of practice,
judiciary.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
So what they've said to me is, well, we have a picture of you.
well, they gave her a jewel. I mean,
have a picture.
wouldn't you have to just contact the disciplinary committee that he told you?
I contacted the disciplinary committee and they told me that I needed to file a complaint against the magistrate.
Good. Do it.
That's good. Yeah. Right.
Okay. Okay. And you know what? And this is a sidestep or a detour of something. I really didn't want to do it because even though they're violating my rights, they've actually been so nice about it. And where I am right now is a really, really small town that used to be a sundown town. I'm not sure if you all know what a sundown town is, but there's not many melanated people within this vicinity. I'm the only Moor here that I even know of. So I'm trying to.
If you want to do, you want to do it, if you think you want to do it, if you think you want to do it nicely, you could probably just notice the magistrate in private and let them know that this committee.
I did that. I sent him a notice of default judgment when I sent him the court warranto, and then sent him the notice of default, and then sent the notice of default judgment. The day after he got the notice of default judgment, he had me kidnapped again.
Okay, so did I say motion? I said you can send him a notice in private, write him a letter, do it that way, and keep it off the record.
I'm gonna do it to you nicely, but I'm at least get some Vaseline out for you. So
Nice to know, Clumsy. I don't want nobody to be nice to me because I ain't gonna be nice to anyone.
You
Right.
did.
Clumsy, foolish, stupid.
Well, I'm just thinking about it all the way around. I'm pretty sure I'm the first person that they've actually come across even issues like this. Like they say, they don't even know what they're actually doing. They're just doing what they're
No,
told.
you're not. No, you're not. What you need? What you need? South
It
Carolina.
don't
State
matter.
Republic?
I don't,
No,
I don't
Arkansas.
know why those types of things are experienced, like looked for or expected. I mean, when I'm doing my shit, I don't look to the left and to the right, see if there's another woman, bald woman, brown woman, dude. I don't give a fuck.
Islam.
I don't know how many people who are brown like me live anywhere. That is like,
That's
you
irrelevant.
fucking with me, you about to get it.
Islam.
I don't care where I am. I could be in Alaska, Nebraska. I don't care. I don't understand why that's even a concern.
Islam. I feel you, sir.
You messing with me, you picked the right one today.
Hey, I can be anywhere. I can be anywhere, but I ain't in NREM.
Right. Not in your jurisdiction. Because I have to knowingly and willingly pledge myself to be there. Not by accident of trying to defend myself. If I send a certain letter, oh, you're in their jurisdiction. Or if I put it in a motion, oh shit, you're in their that's not how it works. That's not how jurisdiction. Does this look like accidental jurisdiction?
No, an
Whoopsie.
emotional outburst add on to that. For her and other Moors specifically that are looking to come through that school of thought, what you have to do is recognize that these people know who the fuck you are. It's on their record. They practice this shit in secrecy in their lodges. You just have to show that you know. That's why we come here to exercise jurisprudence. You ain't got to talk to them. You ain't got to tell them who you are. Do that fucking judiciary discipline on the
Yep.
magistrate and then disqualify the attorneys. That's how they know you know. Like, you know what? Don't fuck with them. I don't care if they Moorish, Jewish, Buddhist. Leave them the fuck alone. That's how that's supposed to go.
That's
But the
right.
problem is that I'm still giving them what they don't deserve. It's me doing it. Okay. I got you.
Yes. Awesome. Right? This is I'm so glad I added these ones in here. Anytime they try to say, oh, by the way, Dean, I didn't open up that mail. I just sent it back. My husband said he wasn't that interested after a day or two passed. Like, I guess the curiosity wasn't killing the cat no more. I don't know what that should say. I shoved it back in the mailbox because I don't care what they're talking about. It's a one-way communication with me and any sheriff or any agency or whatever. They whatever they have to say, I don't care. So I sent it back. All right. So we went over we were together, this jurisdiction right here. And I want to talk about this because I went to Mississippi with one of our friends-in-law on here. I think it was legally attractive. And in the Mississippi Constitution, in Washington, it's kind of boring. It just says the governor is the commander in chief of the military. But here it says the governor this is a separate section. That's what it is. So it is in Washington. It's in most states that I've seen, but I picked the one in Mississippi because that's where I was. The governor may require information. The governor may require information in writing from the officers of the executive departments of the state on any subject relating to the duties of their respective offices. The reason why this is important is because how many people they've tried to prosecute on a bill of information? How many people have ever seen this on documents? It doesn't say complaint. It says information. How many people have seen that? Let me see in the chat. Information. You see right here where it says the governor may require information in writing from officers in the executive department, not judicial, not legislative, executive department on any subject relating to the duties of their respected offices.
Right, because he's the records
Who
keeper.
here has been or knows someone who has been prosecuted by a bill of information?
It's wild.
Would that be child support?
Went over in the class.
Let me see in the chat, or y'all can say it out loud. Okay, you've seen it. It says by information. Okay, so if they're prosecuting you by information, they're prosecuting you through the governor's office, and the governor is the what?
The commander of the military.
So how can they prosecute someone not in the military by information?
You know about jurisprudence too? In jurisprudence, history and law can't be separated. So if the record is reflecting history, then their history is pretty fucking skewed and reconstructed in that sense.
Remember, guys, it says the governor may require information. So when they have bill of information or information on the top of that piece of paper in writing from one of their executive department officers, policy officer, sheriff, that tries to pretend to be judicial, then it says,
all licensing agencies.
that's right. But it also says of their respective offices. You got to be in office. They're telling you. You have to be an in-office officer in the executive department in order for the governor or anyone trying to prosecute you under information.
That
Sign
kills
that part.
every child support case. That kills every child support case because most people dealing with child support, like McGrail had presented, some way, shape, or form, they're going to show that they're not in office.
Right. But we like to say blatant things like, well, I'm not in office without showing first the statutory requirement for you to be in office. We like to say,
Correct.
oh, that doesn't apply to me without showing the statutory authority of who it does apply to.
Correct.
So I would say first, whereas the governor is the commander-in-chief of the military, and this communication about child support came from the governor's office, and the record does not reflect that I am who the governor can command. Get the fuck out of my face. Respectfully.
Once you're on record in there with that bullshit, you don't even have to spit no code. You can just spit the language.
Well, true, of course. But I like to put the section. Whereas the governor can only command the military. I will tell you this. I don't mind. Because I know you're lazy. Y'all, the people in agents, they're lazy. And all you have to be is slightly less lazy than them to beat them. The other thing I want to ask you guys is when you went into the Constitution and you pulled up this term, you searched this term jurisdiction, what came up? What came up? I want to hear from other people. This is from Washington. The only thing that talks about jurisdiction in the entirety of the Washington Constitution is authority of the United States. Did anybody find anything else under jurisdiction in the Constitution? Let's see it, guys. What did you find?
I had a hard time finding Maryland's.
Maryland's what? Constitution?
No. Anything having to do with jurisdiction or authority.
Did you search just United States? Did you search this phrase here?
I'm pretty sure. Last Thursday, I think I did. I'll go through it again, but going through the executive and legislative sections and even the Declaration of Rights, I'm pretty sure I had a tough time finding it.
If you have the PDF, you can probably search the entire PDF at once.
Okay.
For specific sections like this. Did anyone else find a section in their state constitution that says jurisdiction, authority of the United States?
I'm looking at Texas right now, Malika, and the only time I can find it is under it's under Title II Judicial Branch and then District Courts, and it's just saying that. Hang on. The District Court has the jurisdiction provided by Article 5, Section 8 of the Texas Constitution. Original jurisdiction for civil matters in which the amount is more than 500.
Nah, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for something that says here. Says like this: the consent of the state is hereby given to the exercise.
This is where we see the conversion of the Article 3 courts to Article 1 administrative courts.
Correct.
The only way they can operate.
Yep. Yeah, I got one.
There ain't no Article 3 judges, right?
Correct.
I mean, no. There are Article 3 judges, but as soon as you come in there under statute, they're not acting in that capacity.
Right.
You have to bring it in an Article 3 capacity.
Right.
Yeah,
It's the capacity that matters. They do have Article 3 capacity, but
That's
it's not,
what
it can't be activated by statute.
Amicus
That's what
curiae, as
I put in my disqualification.
Yeah, amicus curiae as a friend of the court, though, guys.
Right. So the
The other
daily,
three court judges have to be appointed, like by a mayor or something.
And when you do that, do it en banc,
Elected.
en banc, the whole bench.
We're looking for something like this. Anything that says jurisdiction. When you search your state constitution for jurisdiction, what are you guys finding? Hopefully you have the PDF. This part right here is very important to the definition of in the state. And state, perhaps if you check for something in the Constitution that talks about forts, magazines, arsenals, dockyards, and lighthouses, or needful buildings, because this is the language of the 17th paragraph of the 8th section of the first article of the United States Constitution of the United States. They tie it all together. That's why we're doing this exercise as above, so below. You guys have to see it.
Anything that has to do with jurisdiction, you say in there?
Do they have a section called jurisdiction in there?
Supreme Court jurisdiction.
That's it?
That's what I'm saying in mine.
It's only Supreme Court jurisdiction?
That's
What about the
only-
term United States? What are you guys finding in reference to the United States in the state constitution? What could be authority of the, but United States specifically, or the term authority might be a good one to search. Okay, you see right here.
I
it says-
found United States, but so this is what it says when it comes to Supreme Courts. It said appeals from the appellate court to the Supreme Court are a matter of right if a question under
yeah,
the
that's not what we're looking for.
Okay, that's not okay.
Yeah, we're looking for anything that talks about their actual jurisdiction, the state's jurisdiction, because here in Washington, it's basically saying the state's jurisdiction is only by the authority of the United States.
May I speak with Malika?
Sure.
I looked at mine for Tennessee and I went to Article Article 3, Executive Department. The supreme executive power of this state shall be vested in a governor.
Okay, that doesn't help us because it still is going to say the governor is the commander of the military.
Yeah, I know that. Okay.
Well, we don't care that the power is invested in the governor. We care about the
Okay.
fact that the governor can only command the military, and that
Section
their
2, though?
jurisdiction is only over United States embassies premises in the state. That's what we're looking for. Because
Okay,
all of a
'cause I'm look-
sudden, their jurisdiction says dockyards, arsenals, and lighthouses, and they end up at your apartment. They end up at your house, end up at your duplex, end up at your brownstone, end up at your house.
Okay, I gotta look for the legislation for the state, right?
No, this is found in Article 25 for Washington. I can't remember what department or article. I shouldn't say article. It's not executive, legislative, or judicial. This is just a sole separate article. I can't remember what the title of it is, except jurisdiction.
Okay, let me go look again because I separated the 20 and the 5.
I
All
found
right,
two.
jurisdiction. Okay, so y'all talking about the Supreme Court.
Oh, Illinois, it seemed like Illinois is very tricky because
No. Jen has Illinois up, but this is a good section as well. And this is what's good about the section she posted in Illinois. You see how it says it's going to be initiated in the name of the people by the Attorney General?
so I see the one
Put
that
it in the
said-
chat. It says jurisdiction. The Supreme Court shall have exclusive and original jurisdiction over actions concerning blah, blah, blah. Okay. Which shall
And
be
this-
initiated in the name of the people
This is why
of
when
the
you see
state
cases,
by the Attorney General.
right, and this is why when we see cases of being pressed of the people, but it's the local DA.
Yes, that's exactly why I pointed out. Not
The state attorney.
the state attorney general. So if there is somebody else instituting a case on behalf of the state of blah, 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 state of Illinois versus so-and-so, they have to have a delegation of authority from the attorney general.
This is why the officer alongside the road, he's not supposed to be doing that. He's supposed to be sending a notice to the attorney general at the state level. Hey, I saw by this description traveling down the road with these plates at this time, and he was doing this speed, and I think it's a viable case in the court. Can you look into it? That's the way they're supposed to do it.
Yep.
It would take too long. They wouldn't make no money.
Exactly, Charles. And that's why they skip all those necessary steps. And then when people get the
Process-
ticket, And they start going,
Process of,
I have a court date in 10 days. How are we gonna
process
have a
of
court date?
service is violated right away. In
Exactly.
every case, every case. This is why I urge you to listen to Malika. She says you're not supposed to be talking to me. She means it. They're supposed to be talking to the state attorney general and say, hey,
Yes.
this plate, it's comes back here and can you check and see if we can put this case in the courts? And they'll
Yeah,
come
but
back with
Charles is
no,
right.
you've
It'll
got
take too
diplomatic
long.
immunity.
They
And
wouldn't make
then
any money. You see,
and then the
yeah,
judge would need authority to use your name to call you to come in there.
right, right. Because you would have already, well, Charles, remember, if you joined the military, you already signed up with the attorney general and given them your consent to be sued.
Okay, well that's
That's if you in the military.
that's not everybody. So they're using some cases to apply to everybody.
Right. Okay, so Sophia put a great statute. Maybe you guys will find it in the statute, even if you don't find it in the Constitution. Apparently, in Washington, they have it in both. So, under the section of Title 37, they have what's called. It's called. If you guys look in the chat, she just posted it 2 minutes ago. It says RCW 37.04030, reserved jurisdiction of the state. Reserved jurisdiction of the state. It's in the statute, echoing the
I'm with you.
Constitution.
I'm with you on the no authority, but by the time you send notice to the attorney about the no authority, he has already gone to the judge, and the judge has already opened that account, right? So
Right. That's why you got, in my opinion, do it to both of them, and also do it in advance. You can write, and this is what I meant to tell everybody. You can write the attorney general in advance, right today, and find out if you have given them authority, if they have any record of your consent. And if they give it to you today, that means if you get pulled over tomorrow, next week, next month, or whatever, you already have it. Don't even try me. Dude said I'm not in your system for none of your shit.
right,
You could do it to the sheriff too.
you're saying to
Write your
represent
sheriff
yourself.
today and ask him for your enumeration to be a member of the corporate and political organization called the county of whatever.
Other thing you can do also, it's a sub what do you call it, right?
It's a what?
The state and its subcontractors or whatever the fuck term you want to use.
Yes.
Another thing you can do too is you can get an affidavit from the SCO that proves that your legal name is not in any branch of their military.
Then you got to show them that the governor can command the military. You got to connect that dot for them, because when we say, hey, this is not Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 land, they go, oh, boo, boo, boo. That's why I use the code. I point it right to them. I will say Article 25 of the Washington State Constitution says your jurisdiction is limited to Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 of the United States Constitution, which has to be arsenals, dockyards, and all that shit. Do you see any cannons around? You rail guns?
Malika, can you check Article 1 or Article 2, Section 1E for Ohio?
All right, hold on. So it says the state of Washington hereby expressly reserves such jurisdiction and authority over land acquired or to be acquired by the United States is not inconsistent with, which is their favorite term because they cannot be inconsistent with, which is not inconsistent with the jurisdiction ceded to the United States. Washington is telling you straight up they worship the United States. The Supremacy Clause is telling us all that it has to be in accordance to the United States. It got to be. So,
but we are in the United States.
Are we? I'm gonna need the documentary evidence of that.
I know,
No,
I
you're
know,
talking-
I know,
you're
I know a bunch of people that claim they're men and that they're in the Navy.
When you were talking to that cop on the video,
Yeah.
they just couldn't fucking fathom about not being in
Yeah, remember the dumbass said, "Welcome to America. You have arrived."
Stupid.
It's a wonderful place, dummy said. Okay, guys, we're going to move forward while other people are looking for the articles of authority of the United States in the state constitution. Again, it might be just in a statute. Municipalities and counties exist for the convenient administration of the government. Do you guys see this case? This is a hat tip to Robin Marie. Shout out to you, girl. Municipalities and counties exist for the convenient administration of government, are merely instruments of the state, created to carry out the will of the state.
What's
Their
their will?
administration of government. So if they are attempting to administer yourself, administer your stuff, administer your rights, what are they saying?
They're the boss.
You the government. That's what they're saying. Because if they only exist for the convene of administration of the government and they trying to administer your stuff, they're saying your stuff is of the government. And the question becomes, how did it get here? Like that song, right? That's it. This is it.
What'd you say in Rim was again? Their property, right?
Yeah. It got to
Um,
be of the government. This is what people don't understand. I got to go to court. They charge me with statute, blah, blah, blah. You're of the government. You're G.I. Joe. You G.I. Jane. Right. You exist for the pleasure, at the pleasure of the municipal corporation. All right. So everyone needs to go pull up the very first reference to the word person in their statutes. We're going to go into the state statutes now. No, Charles, I'm not talking about the straw man.
See if Pinocchio.
I don't know if people like me and Charles's back and forth or if they find it confusing, but me and him find it hilarious.
I know I find it hilarious.
Straw man.
We gonna fight till the very end over this.
Wait,
man.
person paper, right?
Oh,
Statutory person.
a statutory person exists in reality as well.
It's all hypnosis to what you subscribe to.
Exactly.
The Tin Man, Tink Tink.
So has everybody found the first reference to the word person?
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna show you guys an exercise that I think is
The
this
living
RCW?
cannot exist in their construct.
Bobby said 10 man, text identification number man.
Okay, so in Title 1, this is Title 1 RCW. I'm just showing it to you guys. Might be helpful. Yes, the code. Yep, period. They actually put a period there. That's funny. All right, the code, period. What you're looking for it's under Title 1 for Washington. Now, we did this exercise before, just on lawful living for shits and giggles, of finding the first reference of the word person in the state statute. This is important because you want to know the person upon which the code is applicable. It only makes sense. Here in Title 1 in Washington, they have a section called General Definitions. General Definitions. They only have a few. Does this look a little bit like 1 USC 1?
Yep.
1 USC 1. Okay, so now I got it pulled up in a couple different places. I got it pulled up here. No, that's banks and banking. I have it pulled up. Well, I'll just pull it up again. I'll just go to where I just pulled it up. That's Title 12, banks and banking. Y'all can tell what I'm studying. But here we go. 1 USC 1. We're going to go to our favorites here. You see the terms that they have defined. The very first word that they have defined is insane person. Why would this be in 1 USC 1, guys? Why would it be 1 USC 1? Why would insane person be under 1 USC 1? What is the significance that it's under 1 USC 1?
First of all, you're
The beginning, the Genesis.
They're just letting you know up front.
Right. What are they letting you know up front?
Let us make man in our
every statute.
That they think we're insane.
They don't think we are insane.
No, they're insane.
They're insane.
Yeah, because this is talking about them. They're
This is
saying
talking about them.
they're insane because they believe that they can do what they do to other people.
They can do it to certain other people.
No,
Other
people, not persons.
insane
Insane
motherfuckers. We have to make that distinction because for those of us who's recognized that we are not a part of this nonsense, our first instinct is to destroy it. Our first instinct is to say it's evil, it's bad, it's wrong, it should not exist. Let's kill it. That's our first instinct, right? But ask yourself this, my warrior friends. What we gonna do with these insane motherfuckers? What are we gonna do with them?
Oh, sorry.
Like any bully, you bring them back to reality.
Or we leave them with
How about
their
if we-
insane game.
Can we have them committed and
I don't
treated
want to
for
do
their
anything with
insanity?
them. Y'all ever been in a mosh pit
Yeah, they're
or,
already in it.
or anywhere where people are in church. Sometimes people go into trance, right? And they
Yeah,
start doing like this, and right.
Yeah, they're
But
already
would they
in it.
really
What do
leave
you
us
do with
alone?
those people? Do you rush at them?
You
Move
just
the
leave them
fuck
in
out their
this.
way.
You just leave them in the insane asylum.
You just
But they're in
leave
it.
them.
They're already in it.
What happens when they break out and start coming where you are again?
Click, clack.
I have 2 guns that I can leap to, one without leaving the frame of this video. You want to test me?
Yeah.
Insane person. The word person and whoever include, look at it, guys. Look at it. Corporations, companies, associations, firms,
Brahman.
partnerships, societies, stock companies, as well as sole proprietors. Sole proprietors and their agents are who's considered individuals.
And our straw man is a sole proprietor.
Or if you made your straw man a sole proprietor, did you make your straw man a sole proprietor, Charles,
don't
or did
have to.
someone else make it a sole proprietor?
They made it necessarily, right?
I don't know. Because if they made it, then it's not mine. This is
Yeah,
where me
so-
and Charles go back and forth. If
You know,
someone
like-
else made it, it's not mine.
Hold on. If I give you my vehicle to hold and do whatever you want, you just take care of it.
But wait.
Who has
Wait.
possession?
It's your vehicle. Let's make it sure we're clear. It's your vehicle, right? And I'm making an agreement with you to use your vehicle, right? Now, let's keep it at that. I have never made any arrangement or agreement to receive a fucking thing from the government. Nothing.
You filled out for the social.
I
meeting of
bet you I
minds.
did not.
No meeting of minds. No.
I
agreement.
bet you I did not fill out anything for a social. I bet you 3 of my children filled out shit for a social either.
So what if you fill out for EIN?
I don't know. I'm not. Are you? I don't have anything. We're not talking about none of that. We're talking about operating your private life.
But can you play the
But-
game of Monopoly without a piece?
No, you cannot. But that's what I'm saying. I'm playing the game of life. I'm not playing the game of Monopoly. So if you give me your Monopoly piece, maybe I might play part-time on your behalf if I accept. But I have not accepted a fucking thing from the government. Is everybody clear? Nothing.
So you don't have a social or any of that.
How can I have a social? How can I legitimately have a social, Charles? Explain that to me.
You can't have
You
it.
own. You own it. Debt.
In order for me to legitimately have a social, what must I do, Charles?
Have a debt.
Without.
Fill it out. Right. So if I didn't fill it out, but somebody's saying, here, take this piece, take it.
Or they filled it out on your behalf.
And that's
They're
where the
disqualified because I would have to give power of attorney for someone to do something on my behalf.
But your mom already had that.
My mom is not even an American. Don't
That's
talk about my
hearsay.
mama.
Here's
Don't
his
talk
name,
about
Mr.
my mama. My
Boyford.
mama did not do anything in America.
And even my mama couldn't do that on my behalf.
Most of us, 98% of us on this fucking Zoom, our parents did that shit for us.
They didn't do it for you. They didn't do it for you. They were doing something else. They thought they were commemorating the birth of their baby boy or girl. That's what they thought they were doing. They were not like, oh yeah, a you is one who owes a debt to the United States. Yeah, sign me up. Sign my baby up.
Because if you look on a certificate of live birth where the mother's signature is, it doesn't say mother, it says informant.
Right, right.
It don't
So
matter
what-
what it say. You
got
have
in
to
the
be a
contract.
debtor to the United States first.
You also
Period.
You have to be a debtor
Debtor,
to the
right.
United States to even qualify to apply.
Right. So the
And-
first
and-
time I used it, I used it illegally.
Right.
So what I'm saying is you've gotten to many other contracts on the same premises.
I couldn't
And
have
not-
gotten
not-
into
not
a
knowing-
contract if I thought I was
knowing-
doing one thing and a motherfucker thought I was doing something else. How is that a contract?
Well, you know what they call it, right?
Where's the meeting
No,
of minds
I
at?
call it a
What's-
scam.
Yeah,
Who
you
calls
can't
it
have.
something else?
You can't have no contract without.
It's
no
called
agreement
identity
first.
theft.
Well, it's called an agreement and it's
Yeah.
religiously converted into a legal contract. But if the man becomes aware full aware because I
Right.
wasn't aware when I made it initially. Now that I come aware, it's not adhesible. It's not legally adhesible at all.
Right.
Until we
Many,
all have
many of us
social.
have had these contracts, but it's the matter of becoming aware of being in those contracts where they become
It
actually.
cannot. We have to
Well,
stop
they
using that
never
term
were a
contract
contract. It
because
was never a
contract
contract.
implies I am thinking I'm doing this, and you are also thinking I'm doing the same thing. When I am
Mutually
getting a birth
correct.
certificate for my son or daughter, where I think that all I'm doing is communicating to the world that we now have a new member to our family, that's what I thought I was doing, right? But they thought I was pledging my baby as a debt to the United States. Okay, a debtor to the United States. How is that a contract?
It's never a
Presumed
contract.
Never.
There's
be a
not a
contract and
mutual.
being consented to by people who don't understand it. And I think that that's what it is. It's like once you actually
Oh,
understand
an
it.
incompetent minor cannot be a party to a contract. So once it's
Absolutely.
proven incompetence on one of the parties to the said contract, that contract is void ab initio. Therefore, from the jump, it is no contract.
But a
It's
minor,
not.
but a legal
was
minor
never a
can
contract,
make.
whether it's a minor, incompetent or otherwise. It was never a contract.
But it was an initial agreement.
It was
consent.
not an initial agreement.
No.
I thought, hello world,
It
here's
doesn't
my
matter
new
what you
baby
thought.
boy or girl.
It doesn't matter what you thought.
If any piece of paper exists and it's doing anything other than that, I did not agree.
Correct.
Exactly. We signed that do just that. Same
But
thing.
guess what? Guess how many things? Guess how many birth certificates I signed for? Guess how many?
Zero.
Zero.
But you've signed contracts before though, right? You give.
I
give
don't
it-
know. I
No,
don't
there's
know.
no
Did I sign
contracts.
contracts before? Who's
Facts.
gonna come with firsthand knowledge telling me I seen you? I synced it.
Where was
That's
the
not
meeting
Correct.
advised?
You
Where
did
was
that
the
on your
meeting
job
advised?
application.
Well, you're lying to yourself if you're saying right now that you've never signed a piece of paper and let them draw it back. That's just an out and out lie.
What?
Yeah,
That's just a
you,
lie.
you about to come prove some stuff, Bobby?
No, I'm trying to ask you,
you
but
worked at a bank. You worked someplace else. You worked,
right.
No, I
Okay,
mean,
so you're talking
I
about
know what you're
agreements,
saying. It's
not
like
contracts.
throughout our lives before we
Rather take it
became
to work,
knowledgeable of what we're doing, we were actually consenting to these things that we didn't know about. And now that we
I
know
was
about it,
Consent means you knew.
participating in things under one premise that were being performed under a different premise.
Which
exactly.
is
Consent if you
which
didn't know.
nullifies the said contract.
Yes,
You
and
means an
then-
individual owes a debt to the United States. Unless
Well-
you already owe a debt to the United States, you cannot be properly, legally, lawfully assigned a social security number.
Right. So if I make an agreement with someone,
you
I sign a
do
piece
that.
of paper, it is then drawn back in contraction to make smaller, encompass, and become smaller. They shrink it into a religious conversion, a legal contract.
It's the
That's what's
same shit
happening.
all across.
That's
it's the same
called
shit all
identity
across
theft.
the board. It's the same shit all across the board. If I say you owe me 1,000, then I'm a debt collector. And I
Consented
get you to
identity
pay
theft.
20. I get you to
Right.
pay 20. You just fucking consented to the agreement that you owe me 1,000.
Exactly. Correct.
But it
So
can
that's
be challenged at any time. That
Sure.
jurisdiction.
We're not.
that
But
we're not
guess
saying-
what, Charles? When I went into that agreement, right, to get the 1,000 or whatever, I thought that's what I was doing, and you thought that's what I was doing. We were in agreement.
Yeah, but you were making a bargain in that
It
agreement.
doesn't matter. We agreed, is what I'm saying.
Sure.
You thought you were lending me 1,000. I thought I was being lent 1,000. That's a meeting of the minds.
No, what
What we
the
were
money came-
doing is
I
what
didn't
we
say
both
that.
thought was happening.
what
Yes?
I'm saying
I
is
knew
I didn't
I was
quite say it
borrowing
right.
money. You knew you were lending me money. That's what we agreed
I
on.
said as a debt collector, because then you would owe someone else. But I came in and I got you to pay the 20.
Right.
Now
Well,
you-
I thought I owed somebody. It don't matter. And you said the somebody's name because you didn't show up and say, "Hey, I'm Charles. You owe me money." You said, "Hey, I'm Charles. You owe Bank of America money." And I go, "Oh yeah, I did. I do," or whatever.
This charging station real quick.
All
Okay,
I'm
but we
saying is
still agreed.
phone call
You
is the
said,
same.
"Hey, Malika, you owed somebody money." Malika said, "Yeah, I owe that somebody some money." We're still on the same page. We still have agreed. When it comes to this social thing, we never gonna agree on that because there wasn't no agreement. I'm over here like, "Yay, my new baby," and you're like, "Ha ha ha, debtor to the United States."
But it falls under customs and usages because it is a habit and a contagion. You're going to touch them.
Okay.
And that- and
Who
that's a
has
different-
found the definition of person in the first mention of person in their code that they want to
Moving on.
share?
I can.
Right. You put it in the chat.
Oh, I can.
You don't have to. It's okay
I
if
mean,
you didn't.
okay. No, I
What's
did.
what's the definition of person?
All right. So, first time I find is under Section 8. I mean, I'm sorry, Title 8, under Civil Remedies and Procedure. Says, as used in this chapter, person includes an individual, his executor, administrator, or other personal representative, or a corporation, partnership, association, or any other legal or commercial entity, whether or not a citizen or domiciliary of this Commonwealth, and whether or not organized under the laws of this Commonwealth.
Wow, that's so long. That's such a long definition, but it definitely hits all the right parts.
What's that, Virginia? That sounds like some Virginia stuff.
Yeah, it's Virginia.
Indeed.
That's long. That's a long ass stuff.
Well, if you find it again in Title 25 on the eminent domain, and it's much longer there. It says,
Okay, so similarly in the Washington statutes, let me go back. Wow.
So to me, that none of that shit's real. It's not a real man or woman. It's just titles, just different titles.
Okay, so where was my Washington one? Did I close that by accident? I think I did. So let me open it back. RCW 1. So here under general definitions, when you click on a person, it actually tells you where the rest of it is defined. Under right here, it says it's person defined under the criminal proceeding is in Title 9A. Person defined under declaratory judgments is RCW 7. Person defined again under eminent domain, person defined again in RCW 4, twice for wrongful death and for alien property custodian. So they tell you where else in the code person is defined, but we're looking for the very first one. Mine is kind of long too, because it has 2 parts. The term person may be construed to include.
Got a microwave, but the guy was like the FDA rule. All right.
Person may be construed to include the United States, this state. So you already see we're starting off talking about artificial entities, right? Like Charles say, only exist on paper. The United States, this state, any state or territory, or public or private corporation, or limited liability company, as well as an individual. Unless context clearly indicates otherwise, the terms association, unincorporated association, and person, firm, or corporation, or substantially identical terms shall, without limiting the application of any terms and any other type of legal entity, be construed to include an LL. So what is that telling us?
I
You have
don't
to-
see man or woman or anything like that mentioned.
I think that's kind of misleading when we say things like, I don't see man or woman, because if you're seeing a legal entity, you have to be seeing a man or woman, because legal entities can only act through men and women. But when those men and women are acting, they have to be acting on behalf as an agent to a fiduciary, trustee of some sort for a fictitious entity. Therefore, and ergo, if you're just acting on your own behalf for yourself, you cannot be acting as a person. Does everybody understand what I just said?
Correct.
A person, a man or woman, has to be acting on behalf of these legal entities, because that's the only way a legal entity may act.
Puppets can only act through puppeteer.
However, you cannot be a person in this context, in this statutory context, when you are only acting on your own behalf. Does everybody understand what I'm saying?
That's impropria persona.
If I'm not acting in a representative capacity on behalf of another, whether it's another man or woman or another legal fictitious entity, I cannot be a statutory person. I cannot be acting as a statutory person when I'm only acting on my own private behalf. You see this cup of coffee? It's for me. I'm going to drink it. I'm not drinking it while I'm at work as an actor for a state, a public or private corporation, a LLC firm. You understand? I'm not drinking it as the
You
president.
sure you're not drinking that coffee? Pledge of the governor?
Right. If I'm not, if I'm not drinking the coffee at the pleasure of the governor, right? I am not acting, at least not at that time, as a statutory person. That's what we need to make clear. Because that young lady who was your wife saying I'm not a person, but I mean, I wish it was on screen so I could show it to you guys because it's just on text. So I would have to copy paste it.
Hashtag what you eat don't make me shit. Where's the
But
love?
they want to show me definitions under 9A. That's what's so funny. Exactly this section here. They want to send me definitions of that.
Distinguish or what do you call it? Distinguish between the two, then they're saying you are the person.
Correct.
Well, because when I make a mark on something and they draw it back, they are acting for the person through assignment. They're signing a trustee, co-trustees, all of the other stuff on the backside. And what I did was never clarified, right? They don't know I'm acting just for me and not to be proffered for the municipality.
I definitely do that same time. Same thing anyway.
You see right here, they say person again. He or she, an actor, include a natural person, and when relevant, a corporation, joint stock company, association, or unincorporated association, which of course is a firm, all that other nonsense. Excuse me,
Wait.
firm, association, corporation, all that stuff.
I don't have an Actors Guild card though. I'm in the movies.
You see what they talk about? Look at the stuff that's this defined. You don't have to read the definition, but acted, actor, benefit, building, deadly weapon, dwelling, judge, peace officer, pecuniary benefit, pecuniary benefit, place of work, prison, prisoner, projectile, property, public servant, signature, statute. Okay, look at what they're talking about in general. When you take it all together, they're telling you got to be at work, potentially at work at a prison, or one of the prisoners that used to be an officer, that probably got arrested, acting on behalf of the government, doing a governmental function, got indicted, and then ended up as a prisoner. This is what they're talking about over and over and over, over and over and over. You either have to be an agent operating on their behalf, or you have to be one of the agents that they can regulate. So everybody, I hope, put the first definition of person in their statute into their document. One of the things that stands out for me is that they basically say it can be used interchangeably. Who's come across that? It says it can be used interchangeably. It can
I've
be
seen that
used
somewhere.
interchangeably. And it says it in the United States statute. I was hoping somebody else was able to find it.
Interchangeably.
Yes. They say in the United States statute. All right. So here's the expanded version of 1 USC 1. This is actually the one I was looking for. And the reason I was looking for this one is because under the rules of construction is what it says, Chapter 1, rules of construction, vessel, vehicle, company. They love talking about this. Limitation of term products of American fisheries. I know Keith left us, but product of American fisheries. This particular URL is great to be on, because it, like I said, it gives an expansion of the 1 USC 1 that is usually on LII WEX. Here they have statutory notes and related subsidiaries. One thing I want everybody to show about, because they see they broaden the definition of person. Under this statutory notes and related subsidiaries, look what they have. Title 28, 1738 of Title 28, the judiciary. The other thing that's under here is Title 12, banks and banking. This is where all those loans and bank accounts and stuff, that's what they are under. This is okay. Again, we're back at the Judiciary Act. They make all of the reference here. I mean, I've never even heard of this. Has anybody heard of this? Born Alive Incident Protection Act? I mean, what the hell? All of this is just for that one section 1 of 1. All of these different references here in the public law. And then, of course, one of our other favorites, county includes parish. Vehicle includes all means of land transportation. We already went over United States vessel under 18 USC 7. All right, seems like something important might be happening, guys. Hello, hey. You're live, just so you know. You're live on the call, but you would also have to have it. Allegedly, not apparently, because we can't look at it. Right.
Somebody trying to fuck around and find out over there. Bar
Yep.
with the fam. Oh wow.
Oh, I think we got cut off.
Jesus.
I'm
Somebody got
answering.
ran
I'm
off the
answering
road.
this guy's because she's in jail.
Shit. That's who. Okay, I think I know you talking about.
Are you guys gonna answer? Okay, so her phone got cut off, and she's trying to relay through her kids because all they do is put the phones together like this so I can talk to her. And just to
Gotcha.
give you guys a little bit of background, because this is the reason we're even having this conversation that we're having right now is to prevent what has already happened from happening. So I was helping this young lady. She was charged under a federal code. I told her that it was all bullshit. She just needs to relax and start pointing out the things that we're pointing out today, like right now, today. Literally, this is what I told her to put in front of them. But before she got the knowledge down herself, she decided that she's going to turn her body into them.
No,
Then
you got
she
to
was
earn your money.
afraid of being arrested in front of her children. So after she appeared, which I told her not to, but she was afraid they were going to issue a warrant. She went into there. They issued a warrant anyway because what they did was change the time she was supposed to appear to an earlier time than when they told her to appear. So when she missed the earlier time that she was not aware of, they arrested her when she showed up for the regular time. So now, after she got to jail, where they're holding her for sentencing, we were able to get the sentencing canceled, which means that she could have just been at home. It don't matter what the charge is. The charge is always being a person under the statute. That is always the charge. You're a person under the statute. Come here, dummy. Stay right there. Everybody wants to know what the charge is always the same. The charge is you're a person. The charge is you are a person. We can do whatever we want to you.
Your Honor,
Right here.
am I in your custody?
Yeah, I hear you, Charles. I'm mind your custody. She wasn't ready for none of that. And now that she's had a chance to sit her ass down for 4 months, she's like, oh my God, I finally get what you were saying. I'm like, you could have been home eating cucumber sandwiches. Okay.
Once you ask if I'm in your custody, then it's already established. He's the trustee.
Yeah, but they're still treating you like you're this person.
You got to speak up. I'm the beneficiary. Pay
Yeah,
the bill,
well,
pay the fine. Let me
she
out.
went and volunteered her body. They put her right where she belonged, was in jail. And now that she's realizing that she never had to go because she could have canceled the sentencing while she was sitting at home nursing her brand new baby.
My God.
Yes, she has a less than 1 year old. Okay. This is the type of nonsense that they do. They scare the shit out of people. And I guess maybe I act too calm. I'm too like collected, too cool when I'm like, sit back, lady. We got this. And she was like,
Either you're gonna be the bully or get bullied.
Right. I'm willing to be the bully. I was always the bully for standing up for my friends. That's what I used to get in trouble with in school. Right? Because I'm not gonna let nobody just beat up on my friend and I'm just gonna be there. Okay? We gonna both have to get beat up. So everybody found the definition of person. The very first mention. It's very important that it's the first mention. Everybody that's in jail
They
right
stop you-
now is in jail for being a person. In jail for acting on
stop them
behalf
from-
of a municipal corporation, association, firm, joint stock company.
They stopped him from doing 3-way, so you can't communicate like that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they don't do 3 ways. So she calls her family and then they call me and they put the phone near so she could hear me and I can hear her. They haven't allowed 3-ways in a long time as far as I know.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yes, we got Megan on here disqualifying the judge.
I was so freaking pumped.
Well, shit always works sometimes.
It
Good
all-
job. Good job.
Hey,
All
but you
right.
gotta fuck around and find out before you'll know. And I'm so glad that I did. And I blasted all that out at like 11 p.m. last night. And I was like, you know what? Let me just log on to this Zoom and see if I have to restate it all with my voice on the record. But I didn't even have to do that.
Oh my God, your story was so awesome. For those who have not seen, say that again, Charles.
Because there wasn't no fucking judge that had the hearing.
Right. The no
right.
judge, no hearing.
And then that's the thing, of course, Attorney Jason, he's such a schmoozer, dude. Like, he's like, so let me understand this correctly. Y'all are considering a notice for I don't even know what the fuck he said, but he basically said to disqualify this judge from administering this case. And then the lady was like, yes, that's correct. And I said, understood. And they're like, okay, have a great day. I'm like, peace out. Click.
Okay, she's calling me back, guys. Let's see. Okay, hey guys. Okay, yes, right. Because it does not exist. It can't, I mean, they just put something on a docket, so you know that that implicates the clerk putting it on there. They playing games. All right. I hope you're excited. Awesome. Right. But if you put it in with a cover sheet as a notice, they might put it in as evidence. Okay. 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 They playing games. All right. All right, girl. Good job. All right. So I'm gonna show you what we put in for her if we have time today. What's that? Yes, that was the other girl, Clarissa. I'm gonna show you guys what's going on. So this is Megan's post right here. Megan's so funny. Yo, yo, yo. Disqualify that.
Go, Megan.
One of the things that I like about Megan's case is that this is allegedly after the bogus judgment. She has not given up.
So
Lots of people would have already given up. Lots of people would have already either taken their stuff out and moved on, afraid, tuck tail.
All I'm saying is all the shit that she did before on record is fucking just a waste of time. What all she had to do was do it right now and just be done with it.
You talking about Carissa?
I thought we were talking about Megan right now.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about Megan right now. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
that's what I'm saying.
saying-
That's what I'm saying.
You're saying just disqualify the judge. That's all you got to do, right, McCreel?
Yeah, stay off the record. Stop fucking with them.
Yeah,
stop
she
playing
tried to
them
stay off
games.
the record. She tried to stay off the record. They put it.
Yeah, she tried to
Listen.
say because you fought. All I said was, when is it reset? Because as soon as she entered the Zoom, she said, we will not be moving forward with today's hearing. This matter will be reset. And I said, reset for when? And I said it like as a question because I'm like, reset? No, that's not what's happening here. Right. And I think that woman just didn't have the balls to say it's a wrap. You know, I think she wanted to make it sound like, oh, we have to figure it out and we'll get back to you of what's going to happen next. But I think that's bullshit. So I literally just said when, and she's like, because you put in a motion to recuse the judge. I said, no, ma'am, I put in a private notice. And then she like rolled her eyes at me and was like, well, yeah, that's why.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, they
that's
always
why.
do that. They always postpone. That's their move.
The
Well,
first,
they
the
love
first
to-
way to know you have won is when they postpone it. The first
Totally.
time.
Let me try that. So
Okay, if
now-
they don't straight out get rid of it, the first thing they do is postpone it. And sometimes they postpone it a second time.
And the problem is too, is that they love to twist your words, y'all. Like even if you're point blank saying something to their face, they'll just respond and say something. You're like, I didn't say that. And that's not what happened. So let's just set the record straight. But, you know, if I would have known all this disqualification just several weeks ago, then yeah, that definitely would have been my first choice. And I would recommend everyone stay off the record like McCreel suggests. But in this case, this was a hearing that I already set, and it was to hear my motion to vacate. And then I put in another motion to show authority, specifically stating Rule 12 motion, because I didn't use that verbiage last time. And that was a suggestion from Malika, like, no, stand on that, resubmit it, make them hear it before the other one. So that was the one set for today.
Everything, disqualification and everything that you already motioned. The boy
kind of
judge
paper
is vacated. Say that again?
They're trying to steal her house.
So what I'm saying is that all your motions were basically summed up with the disqualification. There's no jurisdiction, no due process. It's a vacate. It's a it's a void.
It's a disqualify. It's a dismiss. It's a discharge. It's everything.
Right. Absolutely.
That's what
And
Charles is saying.
And Charles, your comment on my post earlier, I appreciate what you said because you're absolutely right. Now that they're doing this, they're taking this action to not have the hearing today. That means that there was no due process from the beginning. So that's all the evidence I need. For those that don't know or didn't see it, McCreel commented and said, now follow up with another notice, just restating like, hey, because of this, there was no due process. So we're done. Stop talking.
Right.
Yeah.
They
Acceptance
can't
and
go back.
acquiescence by Neil DeCee.
That's right.
They can't go back. They can't go back and get another judge because it'll be the same scenario because the case has already been initiated. It's already been initiated without due process, so they can't fix it.
I mean, the judge just abandoned ship. I ain't coming, y'all.
Yeah.
They can't fix
First
it.
thing
That's
she
what
she hit the desk this morning, she looks at her calendar. Oh yeah, I've got Megan's at 9:45. Then she gets that email. No, I don't.
So when you said reset, I'm like, stand on your square where you started, and just reiterate that there can be no valid, valid on this issue because you started it the way you started it. I mean, not in
Right.
those lame terms, but
Right. You
you know,
started it
like I said,
wrong.
I'm saying,
You started it wrong.
you
It can't be
can't fix it.
corrected now.
And you know
So
what's hilarious? I sent it to y'all. I blasted it to every fax number and every email that was appropriate because I didn't have enough time to send it by mail, right? So I literally emailed the county auditor. I emailed the county judge. Dude, everyone. And then I faxed it to the Attorney General of Texas because he actually had a fax number. And I do plan on mailing off the rest just to, cover my ass. But the funniest thing is I started getting responses this morning because I emailed the lower justice of the peace court, like, just in case y'all need to know too that your bullshit original judgment is also disqualified. And they got back to me and said, this matter has been moved to a higher court. I'm like, yeah, I know,
yes,
dummy.
the Lord.
So they wanted to start it over, and they got a whole nother case number, blah blah blah, and they did it with due process. Well, now they have to pay the bill, so you're good.
Yep. I was actually low key really excited to go on the record and say, I appoint you as fiduciary. Take care of it.
But they're already not. That's why I do it private because you're basically calling the judge out for breaking the law, and if you do it in public, it's kind of you give them a chance to, you know what I'm saying?
You
give 'em
make
a
them
chance to-
want to try to do something to save face. Is that what you mean, Charles?
Yeah, I mean, because like I said, if I broke the law and I know it, you know what I mean, and you tell me privately, then I can either kill it or they can restart it, like I said, and do it right. But if they do it right, then they got to pay for whatever it is that if they're going to stand as fiduciary with due process, then they got to pay for everything that they're charging with.
Right. Right. And the thing is like that judge already pissed me off because speaking about putting things on the record, I already put a motion to show authority to those dumbass attorneys and you didn't do anything about it. And you know damn good and well what's happening. So now your ass is getting disqualified. And I would have put, if
Please,
I was put
please
in the
tell me you
position-
put that in your letter to them, in your notice to disqualify to them.
Put what in there?
What you just
Put
said.
it on the record. She put the attorney no authority
No,
on
no,
the
no.
record,
She
right?
didn't put it on the record. She sent it to the attorneys. The attorneys freaked out
Okay,
and
cool.
put a order of protection against her.
So you have evidence. You have evidence that did the judge see it?
Okay, so
The judge saw
okay.
it when they filed it on the record. She sent it to them in private.
So now
Yeah.
you got proof that they're working together, that they wouldn't show authority, and then that you didn't have authority to act in the first place either. So the whole shit is conspiracy and fraud and all that shit, and you got proof of it.
When I
That-
said I
all-
hope you put
all
that on
that-
the notice, I was hoping that you put what you just said on the notice. The fact that the judge was made aware that the attorneys didn't have any authority and they were still trying to do some bullshit anyway. I was hoping you put that in your disqual.
Not exactly that way, but I did do a small little claim of damages at the bottom of the notice where I said, this has happened, this has happened, this has happened. Y'all are conspiring. Y'all are fucking committing tax fraud. I literally hit him with like 14 claims on there. So I think she
Now
got
you
the
got
picture.
more. Now
And
you got
all-
more, but
everything-
You keep it simple. You can keep it real simple with the simple fact that they didn't have authority to bring their claim in the first place, and the judge knew about it, and he didn't have authority to initiate the case.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yep.
they put an
Everything you
order.
just said, plus it proves that none of them are acting in good faith, and that's all the proof I need that they have not acted in good faith.
They never do. Now I don't even know who made that shit up. Everybody's like, you should act in good faith. Like you should act in good faith. Bullshit, motherfucker. They ain't acting in good faith from the get go.
Let me show y'all the benefit of good faith. We know, and that's why when people talk about, oh, we got to remain in honor, I'm like, yo,
Fuck that.
You gotta remain in honor for these assholes. No.
They used to say the same shit.
When's a bully remain?
No.
Imagine a
no.
bully is kicking your ass and someone goes, remain in honor.
But
Somebody
I
says
told you I was
like
gonna
that,
whip
they
your
used to
ass.
get on my damn
Well, you
nerves.
misunderstand, Dan. I have to be in honor with myself, not with them. So
Right.
if I'm in honor with myself, that therefore I'm honoring everyone around me. So if a
Right.
bully's punching me in the nose, I'm honoring myself and punching back and stop the fight. Those are apples and oranges.
That's right.
So with all that was said on with Hurt Megan, they don't have any safety net or whatever to not be sued or whatever the fuck that's called. I forgot what it is.
Immunity. They try to
Immunity.
act
They
like
don't have,
immunity.
they don't have no immunity.
Right. So
They never had no immunity, and they put in a motion to quash with a protective order against a federal private notice of damages, notice of liability.
That's what you did, or
Yeah,
they
like I
put in
said,
the
I
notice
sent
of
them.
protection. They put in
Yeah,
an order for protection against her.
they don't have no protection.
because
Right.
it wasn't even it wasn't even in the case. It was for a separate notice of liability for a federal claim that I'm fine.
Yeah, go ahead and add to that motherfucker and get it and rewrite it. I don't give a fuck what you do. Rewrite it, add to it, do what you gotta do. Put that shit in there. They
You
can't
know
get past it. It's already proven. Because he
One more thing.
disqualified himself.
One more thing I wanna just say to everyone who may be feeling discouraged. Something that someone always or people always tell us is stay on top of it, stay on top of it. But in my personal experience, the more that I have kind of like waited, like, all right, we'll see, it just keeps adding and adding and adding to my evidence. And now I know for sure that there's no way that I can't hit them with it doesn't have to be so many. Pick like the top 5 claims that you can really stand behind and prove that
That's
they've
the first
injured you
two.
with. And I have so much evidence now, this whole, record of the lower court, everything they're doing, everything McCreel just said about it being initiated without authority, continue to be prosecuted without authority. I mean, they're acting on their own accord anyway. Everyone knows the bank did not hire them. They went and looked up my shit on a yeah, exactly.
That's why I said it's kind of like when they charge us with some simple shit and then they add like fucking 5 extra fucking
Yeah.
charges.
They
when
want
you
to
only
charge
get-
you with speeding, but they're gonna just throw in obstruction of an officer and all kind of other nonsense.
what I'm trying to say-
Resisting. They're gonna put resisting on there.
What I'm trying to say is all the other shit that they've been doing to you may be harder to prove when the easy shit to prove is the initial shit and the attorney no authority and the judge no authority is right there and it's the beginning of the whole
Yes.
shebang.
It's the
You don't even have to go
threshold.
further.
It's the threshold, as was brought up today.
The other shit they did extra, that's just extra money, right?
Right. That's the gravy. That's the icing. But they have threshold issues. And what we're discussing in this as above, so below document, guys, is the threshold. You
So
first have to be an officer, agent, or contractor of the military corporation called the United States in order for any of the other charges that they want to come with: foreclosure, eviction, child support, child neglect, anything, speeding.
Child
Oh, we're gonna
custody.
we're gonna repossess your car.
And the first 2 things are easy to prove, right? Are the easiest to prove because they're not gonna fucking respond to it, or they're gonna recuse themselves. And if they recuse themselves, well, you're busted. You're busted right now. You're busted. You open an account in my name, identity theft, open an account in my name, fake ass fiduciary, trust violation. It's all that shit in one and misrepresentation, imposter,
Right.
right?
Fictitious
Yeah.
obligation,
Man,
false and
Woo.
misleading representation, deceptive business
Yeah.
practices.
Somebody said that Charles McGreal might be kind of bad. Just
So
saying.
we're gonna end today on the note of the presentation part. I'm still gonna take some questions on this good faith part before we go forward. We're gonna add some more onto the document next week. I didn't want to add too much this week, but everybody needed to go and research the different parts of the Constitution that talk about good faith. I'm showing you all the different parts here. And the reason this is important is because all that we've been talking about, these threshold issues of needing to be an officer, agent, contractor of the municipal corporation on some level, city, county, state, federal, in order for you to be liable under any code whatsoever. It is so very important that we are aware so we can stop telling ourselves and each other this I have to go to court nonsense. They have a requirement, says it right here. If you scour your code, whatever your code is called, NCL, NYNCL, or whatever, you're looking for the good faith requirement. Because right here under that same Title 9A, where one of the definitions of person is, it says good faith. This is all talking about homicide, but it doesn't matter. What matters is the good faith standard runs throughout all of their code. This is right here, requirement. Good faith standard. That's what they use, standard, okay? This is also criminal procedure under another title, RCW 10. Good faith. When they talk about probate and trust law under Title 11, good faith means honesty in fact. Also put the rest of this here because it says agent, which again goes back to that 1 USC 1 agent. Agent means a person granted authority to act for a principal under a power of attorney. What? What is going on? You have to be, in order to be an agent, you need to be acting under a power of attorney. So how did you get to be 1 USC 1? See, they talk about officer, authorized by law, authorized by power of attorney.
You got power of attorney on my person.
On the ones I made, not on the ones handed to me that somebody else made. Power of attorney to act for a principal. Is that not the same as an agent? Isn't an agent acting under power of attorney of a principal? The term includes an original agent, co-agent, successor agent, and a person to which an agent's authority is delegated. Like that attorney general that's supposed to delegate authority that they can delegate because they can't delegate all of their authority. Okay. What else? Good faith also shows up in domestic relations, RCW 26. They talk about immunity from civil or criminal liability, except as provided in this section. Any person participating in good faith in making a report got to have that good faith, guys. Remove that good faith from them by making them knowledgeable that they are violating threshold issues. Threshold meaning the nexus, the beginning, the genesis of you supposed to be talking to me.
Initiation.
That's right. Again, it shows up under whistleblower complaints for healthcare. Isn't that weird? RCW 43. Again, they talk about public officers. Public officers again. They talk about the auditor. They talk about employee. Employee means any individual employed or holding office in any department or agency of the state government. We be reading the definition of employee under Title 26, and we have no concept that the meaning has to be one who is employed or holding office in a department or agency of the government, or else you're not even an employee under Title 26. United States Code. They define good faith means the individual providing the information or report, sheriff, deputy, policy officer, is a reasonable basis, in fact, for reporting. Holly from Department of Health and Human Services, you ain't acting in good faith, baby.
Right.
You about to F you up.
Yeah.
Any individual who knowingly provides or reports or who has reasonably ought to know he or she is providing or reporting malicious, false, frivolous information or information that is provided with reckless disregard for the truth. Do you see why it's so important? We need to mention these parts of the code and their requirement
like
for
a
good
judge
faith.
to me. Sound
They
like a
can't.
judge
Oh,
to
I
me.
didn't know. I didn't know that they were retaliating against her or filing a claim against them. I didn't know the county's officers were acting in bad faith.
I didn't
Yeah.
know I was supposed to get authority from the Treasury.
I didn't know I was supposed to get authority, period, to act in someone else's behalf. I thought I was a judge. I could just do whatever the fuck I want.
I didn't know
I
it
was an
wasn't
attorney.
God.
I thought I was an attorney. I could just do whatever the hell I feel like. Here it is again. Title 46, RCW, under motor vehicle manufacturers. Good faith. Because I'm coming for Ford. I'm coming for Ford manufacturers. I'm coming for you. Where's my page 1 of 2, bitch? Oh, no, you said it was page 1 of 1. Show it to me. Show me. Show me you were acting in good faith. Means honesty in fact and fair dealing. In fact, meaning proof on the record. And fair dealing. The Residential Landlord Tenant Act. This says obligation of good faith imposed. All I did was type in RCW and good faith, guys. RCW, good faith. I found every single section that mentions good faith in the RCWs. So as you guys are seeing, it's under multiple various sections for agencies, healthcare, manufacturers, and this reference to 2A, that's the Uniform Commercial Code. Isn't that wonderful? All y'all people like commerce, all the UCC folks, the SPC folks, good faith means honesty in fact and observance of reasonable commercial standards of fair dealing, good faith obligation. You see, again, obligation of good. It's obligatory. It's a threshold issue. The sheriff is not immune from prosecution because someone else told them to violate your rights and you told them, hey, my rights are being violated. And they're like, well, unless the other people violating your rights tell me to stop, I'm going to keep going.
My fucking claim gonna get you to stop.
Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't.
Again, good faith. I put this here for all the people who said, oh, someone bought my property at auction. I bet you it wasn't in good faith. A purchaser of goods acquires all title which his or her transferor had or had the power to transfer. Oh, well, the sheriff had no power to transfer shit to you. Okay? Except that a purchaser of a limited interest acquires rights only to the extent of the interest purchased. A person who with voidable title has power to transfer a good title to a good faith purchaser of value. If you're not a good faith purchaser, because you had notice and the person transferring it to you had notice that it was not in good faith, your ass out. You better go try to get your money back.
Plus, they put your shit in the paper. Put
They
your
sure
shit on
did.
the
Slander.
on the docket.
Slander.
Yep. FTC.
But when they put it in the paper, Charles, here's what's funny. When they put it in the paper, they lie and say they had power of attorney from the person they're stealing the house from.
Goddamn.
They were like having a power of attorney from insert the person's name they stealing it from. Like that's libel, slander, and defamation.
Then they hold a public
That comes from
auction
the
that only
applies for public property.
Well, no, it's basically a private auction that only investors can attend because you have to get past their application process and you have a deposit. So you have to either have a representative or go in as an individual. I took pictures of all that shit. Yeah. You're not even notified about what time the auction starts. You have to join their site as an individual.
They're mixing.
Damn. Say that again, Charles.
Like someone just put it in the message, said that they're mixing public and private.
Yeah, they are. They put them both in a cup and they whipping it real fast.
A monopoly on that.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And that's why they all need to get
So
sued.
that comes from registering your shit.
It
Well,
does. It does.
The one that bought it, I talked to today, supposedly, allegedly bought it. He's very apologetic, says he wants my rights, not violated. He doesn't know much about the law, but he also lets me know he's personal
That's
friend.
awesome, Cindy. That's really good. That's
personal
really
friend.
good. He needs to join your lawsuit as a plaintiff against the county.
Well, he's personal friends.
I don't care who he's friends with. He needs to join as a plaintiff against the county.
Well, what I'm trying to say is he's personal friends with the prosecutor on the case, and the treasurer.
Of
So
course he is.
he's got a account with them. So basically, he's just in there for all the houses. It's he didn't even know he had the house until I told
Can
it
you
to
hear
him
me?
today.
In a betting.
Hear me?
I can hear you.
Financial crime.
Yeah, I have a 20-minute recording. It was very, very nice.
So you're saying he wasn't even aware that he allegedly won an auction?
No. He said he
Okay,
had
so
to
that sounds like he's being set up by the attorney, by the prosecuting attorney.
Yeah. Well, what happens is when they do the auction, they have investors that have an escrow account with them that they
So
can
how the
just-
hell you gonna just buy a house on my behalf because I got escrow with you?
they're just it's and I'm blank with the word right now, but yeah, it's a monopoly.
It's a clown show.
It's the municipal mafia.
Yes, that's right, Chris L. The
It was
municipal
automatically
mafia.
well,
Very
it went,
good analogy.
when it they're asking.
Sounds like he's an accomplice. That's what it sounds like.
Could be true, Prince.
Well, I looked up their the name of the company anyway. They're an LLC all the way around everywhere. And the one woman has been convicted of securities fraud. And I looked at this guy's street and he had a mass amount of properties that have been paid cash for. Yeah, it's big.
Listen, if you have proof, and it's just like calling the police on any normal deal. You can go to financial crimes with your proof. Mine is here in a division in the city building. You can go right up there.
Is that for just the city, Charles, or is that a federal thing? A federal like agency or state agency?
It's just financial crimes unit in the police station or in the
Financial
courthouse.
crimes unit in the police station.
Courthouse, my bad.
Okay.
So the guy that I've been sending all of my emails to in a CC is a chief of the criminal investigations unit at the sheriff's office.
Okay, good.
So hear me out. Listen.
Okay, so here it
you
is for
have-
financial fraud and crimes. It's actually
if you have the proof, which is they listed your home on what we say public in the paper. They put it on the record for public in the courthouse. All those are federal violations of FDCPA. All you do is look it up, find the code, get the proof. Because you can get the proof easily. It's in the paper and it's in the courthouse, or it was. Take that shit down to the goddamn financial crimes unit and file and press charges.
Hey, I got one more for you.
I agree.
I think what's happening today, looking at stuff, they're also, I think, getting block grants. So look that up, too.
Absolutely, they're getting federal funding for block grants. That's only available though for public property. Using the block grants financing to pay the sheriffs to do the dirty deeds. It is absolutely
appropriated.
100% the block grants. That's why I recommend people to use that restraining order, that TRO that we got from Guy Neighbors, where you can get the federal funding stopped to that county for those crimes.
You should be able to go through financial crimes to get all that started.
Yes, I agree, Charles.
So
Crimes, I just looked it up in Ohio. It says Division of Police. So you can
Right.
go right there and
So-
report them.
So listen, when I had child support on my, and I might have said it before, when I had them on my credit report, and they wouldn't remove it.
Boom.
Well, not necessarily.
Right there,
I
guys.
disputed it, and then I went to financial crimes, and told them that someone opened an account in my name, right? Same as a fiduciary should, and someone got my social from a third party, right? And then he starts smiling and he laughing. He's like, "Well, you are correct, but you don't have any proof." I said, "I don't need any. Just give me the fucking." He said, "I'll make you an incident report and a case number," which is all I needed to remove it from my credit. Could I have taken a step further? Yeah, but make it do what you needed to
Can
do.
I ask?
If you got proof, you're
Okay,
going straight
I
to
guess not.
the prosecutor.
Yes.
Could I get some clarification on what you're talking about with this financial crimes?
We're talking
there a
about
limit-
financial crimes.
Yeah, is there a statute of limitations for reporting the financial crimes?
There's no statute of limitations for private people to do anything at all.
So I would find the financial crimes unit at my local station, and even though the financial crime happened 3 or 4 hours away, and then
You might have to go there.
You might have to do it at the police station or whatever division they have online for
Where it
that where it happened.
I actually, at the time when they took my home and they submitted some forged grant deeds in there saying I had forged them, which of course I hadn't, and I filed a report on the forgery at the local police station where it was, and they weren't going to take it, and I insisted. Then apparently they called the attorney up for the other side, and they said, "Oh yeah, she's she's just lying." And then when my friend went to pick up the police report, they just told her that I was just loco and cuckoo, and and they've never done anything about
Wow.
it.
If you have the proof,
I
we're
had the
good.
proof that
Not
the
up-
grant
that's-
deeds were false.
Yeah,
they're
but
I
not gonna
had the proof.
but she's saying that all they did when they took her information was notify the attorney on the other side because they're pieces of shit, and
Yeah.
then
Right.
decided to adjudicate the case themselves based on who they wanted to believe.
Okay.
And they always
You
believe attorneys.
You would just go straight to it. You would just go straight to take your evidence and your claim straight to the prosecutor's office.
And the prosecutor's office in California and Los Angeles don't give a damn. I was even told by the district attorney's assistant when I was asking who I would complain against when they wouldn't take my cases. And she said, "Well, don't say, I won't admit to ever saying this, but nobody cares. It's like pissing in the wind," she said. And she actually said that. Nobody cares if you complain about the state bar or the attorneys.
I think that
No, yeah,
might
that
be a
part maybe
troll.
not necessarily.
That might be a
And
troll
I'm talking
because
about
I've
going
not
straight to
found
the.
that to be true anywhere. What were you saying,
Well,
Charles?
I said I'm talking about going straight to the authorities with your shit, and then if that doesn't quite get it and they're not willing to file it, you can still do it with the attorney general, right? And FTC is the FTC. What is it?
It's the
TFPB.
FTC, CFPB,
You know
the
what I'm
Attorney
talking
General's
CFPB is
office.
pretty worthless. We have a new attorney general, so they might be okay. And I've just uncovered just recently another financial crime that I need to understand how to go about it, where I had filed a small claim suit during my fight with the bank against the CEO of the bank, who at that time was Stephen Mnuchin.
Okay, that might be the issue. So when you're putting in your reports, are you putting it in against the bank,
No, I was
Tina?
What happened?
I think she muted herself or got disconnected.
And also on your on any of your homes, your vehicles.
Okay, hold on, Charles. So Tina, you said you're filing it against the people?
Well, those complaints I filed against the individuals that were, doing
Involved?
part of this, the attorneys. I have been filing in courts against them since 2013 and losing every which way. Right now, I'm in
Well,
a
when you go to court,
appeal.
who are your defendants when you go to court?
Well, originally it was the bank. Right now, it is the attorneys for the bank who, in this particular case, they promised to send me some original documents, refused to send them, and they promised in writing, and then they said they would send them in letters twice. Once my cases were over, then they didn't. And then when I filed against them for fraud, promissory fraud, concealment, they said, "Oh, you knew that we had no intention of doing what we said we would do." Oh, really? I'm
What?
psychic?
That's because you got
Yeah,
a subpoena.
uh-huh.
Subpoena do detective.
Yeah, so yeah, well, that doesn't work with what I'm doing. But anyway, they put that in writing that I knew that. And so I'm still going against them. They denied me discovery in the lower courts. Now I'm in the appeal court.
Have you
and
ever
I've-
filed a federal claim?
One time, well, I didn't file, I filed state, but the bank moved it to the federal court.
Yeah, but they moved just
Still
to
lost.
dismiss it, right?
Yeah, yep.
That's what they do when you don't file it in federal court first. They do
Yeah.
you when you file it in state court, because this is
Right.
exactly what they did to us. We
Right
filed it in state
now-
court. We mentioned the FDCPA. They used that as an excuse to put it into federal. We did not know the benefit, or we didn't know the benefit or the con of allowing it to be in federal or saying no, we want it in state. So we allowed it to be removed to federal, and then they dismissed it in the federal. The other mistake is you cannot ever go after the bank. And it's not any other
And
reason than the bank is not who's coming after yourself. It's never the bank coming after yourself. It's always an attorney on their own.
yeah, that's true. It is. And I've just got to empty something so somebody can get in the car and leave. But the case, the particular one I'm looking at right now is something I've just found out. And I think it's very material to helping fight. And that is that when I did that case in the small claims, over time they added 20, never ever give me the information as to and I just found in my loan file, which I managed to finagle, that they charged $15,000 in legal fees for that small claims court case onto my loan, and they just added it, and you can't do that.
Well, they couldn't
So
have given
where
you the
did I
loan in the
go?
first place. That's the problem that most people don't realize. You do not
I know.
qualify to get a loan for your private property in the first place. So there's nothing legal or lawful that can occur after the initial illegality, the initial fraud. Whenever we go into a bank saying we need a loan and they realize that we don't work for any bank and therefore we're not qualified to even apply for a loan, they should tell us to leave, but they don't. And we don't. We don't know any better. So we go into the transaction. So it doesn't matter what else they do after that because the beginning is fraud. So we can talk a little bit more about your particular case.
They took my property in 2015, and I've lost every which way, and all they claim is res judicata every single time, and the court ruled
You
for
got to
them.
go into the federal court, and you have to go after constitutional violations with the fact that you were never supposed to be involved in the transaction in the first place. That's what we have found. We also do not mention, and this is my tip to everybody similarly situated to Tina. People think that it's helpful to go back into their loan records and read shit and discover things. When you realize you're not supposed to be involved in this transaction, that's where you get to kick them in the nuts. So what we are doing when we file into federal court is we are not mentioning a loan at all. We're not mentioning a mortgage. We're not mentioning a deed.
Okay.
No loan, no mortgage, no deed. What we are saying is we were just rowing our boat gently down the stream, and a wolf jumped out of the woods and said, "Give me your house."
So the finance paperwork can be used as evidence.
I
So
use
on
the
your
fact that
side-
they're trying to communicate with me about taking my house as the evidence. Because what
Well, what I'm
we're
saying that
doing is
these
putting them in a
things-
situation where they cannot prove a loan transaction happened. They're not going to have nobody that with firsthand knowledge that's going to come and
No.
say, "Oh yeah, I saw her sign that paper. I noticed she took on that loan."
No, what I'm saying is
Yep.
you deposited that your creditor, right? Deposited that note into their establishment.
I don't care.
That's the thing. No, what I'm saying is
You're breaking up a little bit, but I have to tell you from
I'm saying
firsthand
you can use the
experience.
mo- you
I'm
can
talking
use
from
the
firsthand
paper-
experience, my people. You start talking about a loan, you're fucked.
Well, in my document,
Agreed.
that's what they entered
Where-
into the court section. Actually shows the social security number. They didn't redact it.
Identity theft,
Right, but that's
where's the
invasion of
one who
privacy.
actually did the loan? That makes sense.
It don't matter.
Where's the
Is what I'm
one-
trying to tell you, Charles. You're. It's not that your reasoning is wrong, right? And that's the reason everybody always goes in talking about the so-called loan. Your reasoning is on point. I'm just saying in application, that shit don't work. Because once you realize you were not supposed to be in the loan, the best thing you could do is make them bring it up, and then they have to prove it. You have to prove that shit happened. I'm going to say it's identity theft. I don't care what piece of paper. I'm going to still say it's financial crime because the
I'm gonna say-
financial
I'm gonna
crime
say-
began from the identity theft. You're breaking up real bad, Charles.
Why? Still?
Okay, now you're good.
I said I'm gonna say the loan only because we loan in. We deposit they in the
And now you're breaking up real bad. Again, I'm not saying that you're wrong. You are correct. However, if you bring up the loan, they will murder you over that loan. If they bring up the loan, you get to murder them. You
Okay,
get
I'm
to
saying
ask
our
them
deposit.
what loan. You get to
Our
ask
deposit.
them. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying it don't work. Everybody, I hope everybody understands what I'm saying. That shit don't work.
I took your advice on that, Malika. Every time these attorneys have tried to bring up a deed of trust, a mortgage, whatever, I have not said anything other than, what is that? I don't know what you're talking about. And yeah, I think it works.
It's identity theft. You were never qualified to have that loan. Finding and nitpicking over the charges in the so-called loan or on the HUD one and all that stuff. In my experience, it's an admission that you are involved in the crime against yourself. And that's why we lose when we come from that angle. Okay? It's not that it's not true. It's just the shit don't work. If you let them bring up the loan and them say we were like, oh shit, so now there's a conspiracy against my private property because this private property does not qualify for any kind of mortgage or any kind of loan. Everybody's trying to show you how to discharge. I'm not showing you how to discharge. I'm helping you to take advantage of the fact that you were never supposed to be involved. They were never supposed to offer a loan, even with Federal Reserve notes. This is the part that everybody misses. Everybody want to read the last sentence of 12 USC 411. Everybody wants to be enamored in the last sentence that talks about the notes being redeemable, the Treasury. Forget about that. Focus on this part, that it's for public dues. How you like that? Federal Reserve notes are for public dues. Public dues. Do you guys see that? This is that Interstate and Foreign Commerce, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 1. Public, does this say your private dues? Private bills. Private anything, does it?
No.
You cannot use the Federal Reserve System to pay anything for your private self. It is not for that. It says the said note shall be for all taxes, customs, and other public dues. So these taxes and customs are also public dues. You ain't gonna catch me telling on myself.
But we're private.
It don't say or private. Where does it say or private here?
I said, but we're private.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Yes. So we cannot use Federal Reserve notes for public dues, public taxes, public customs. So I don't recommend confessing that you were involved in criminal activity. I recommend saying I was minding my business, rowing my boat, taking my goodies to grandma's house, and then a wolf came and said,
Malika,
give me your house.
Malika, I'm in Washington. So, like, how do we go about getting our 9% sales tax back?
I don't know what you're saying.
I pay.
Don't do sales. Commerce is crime. If you're involved in commerce, pay your dues.
But I'm buying off of eBay. I buy stuff off of eBay.
Oh,
and
okay. So when you
automatically-
go to eBay, eBay.com and you're in the shopping cart, do you know they have a tax section?
Right.
They have a little button you click on. I'm about to
Yeah.
show you guys one. We got a
The whole
notice
amount,
from Home Depot that says we have to redo our taxes, our tax exemption, guys. So my husband
whole
went on
amount.
Friday and they said as of September of last year or October of last year, we have to redo our thing. We got a little notice. So that's what that reminded me of. But
All they told me was that I had
if you are exempt from taxation or you're not yet or whatever, like, and I saw this for Amazon and I was gonna fill it out. I started reading about it, but I didn't go through. Every corporation has a form, if you will, to fill out to be tax exempt. Just ask them.
Okay,
They will
can I
give it
do
to
it? So
You have
can
to
I
fill it
fill
out. You have to fill it
But
out.
To say you have to be like a business or something.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
so what if I say I'm a business, so I'm tax exempt, but I'm not a business.
I don't know how that works. I'm telling you, we did it under my father has a business registration because we were doing property refurbishing and management and all that stuff. So We did it a long time ago, over 20 years ago, with Home Depot and Lowe's to be tax exempt. You can do it as well. If you're doing it
Okay.
as a business or anybody that has a business, your cousin, your uncle, your daddy, or whoever, okay, grandma, grandpa, mom, dad, auntie, uncle, anybody who has a business and they could fill that out, you can be tax exempt.
Yes,
It's very simple
tracking.
form,
Yeah, tracking business.
any kind.
Okay.
So just contact the company and find out what their process is. They will tell you.
Because
Okay.
I'm getting screwed on that. Yeah, I'm getting screwed on this side.
All right. So let's start from the top now. Am Woman, go ahead with your question, comment, emotional outburst.
Hey, thank you. Okay, let me just go back here for a second. So my question was kind of related to this whole case that I'm dealing with. I am doing like a disqualification for all of the judges, and I added a couple of things in there, and I just wanted to see if what your thoughts were. I did get a records response back from the state court administrator, and he was very, very helpful actually. He got back to me within a day, less than a day. He said that there's no records responsive to my request for the
What was your request?
for um just how you put it about, hold on, I can bring it up right here. It was bringing it up.
You only have to do disqualify on the last judge or the one that's sitting on the case now.
Okay, well, so I said to him, the record uh, of the delegation of authority to administrate husband rights, and then the second and third points were the original instrument that supports the underlying obligation of myself and husband of, the blank family with the juvenile court.
That's going to be the marriage license.
Yeah, but they're never going to show it to you. They're never going to
They're
say
not
that
gonna
that's
do,
the
yeah.
instrument that they're
Right.
using for the underlying obligation, and we want them to say it. We want to be like, oh, sure, here it is.
Right. And then the third one was the original instrument that supports the underlying obligation of myself and husband of the blank family with DHHS. And he said, there's no records responsive to your request. As far as the juvenile court goes, I'm not the keeper of the record. I think he said I'm not the keeper of
Right.
the records. of
You
juvenile court.
can only
But-
ask. Some of the mistakes that we're making is that we're asking people that are not the keeper of a particular record for that. record.
Right.
And that's a
Right.
big problem, because if you ask my grandma for your birth certificate and she says there are no records responsive to your request, that doesn't mean that your birth certificate doesn't exist. It means she's not the keeper of the record. So we cannot use, oh, they said they don't have a record, when it's not them that would have it. That does not help us.
But isn't that helpful? The first point where I asked the delegation.
No,
of
I'm not
authority to
saying you yourself are
Okay.
asking the wrong for
I
all
see.
of them. I'm just saying generally, right? What some of us are
Right.
doing is asking questions to people that are not supposed to have the answer. So when we do get we don't have any records and we're like, yay, they don't have any records. If you ask the wrong person, it doesn't matter that they don't have the record.
And that might be somebody close.
Right.
Okay. So I would ask DHHS directly for
Yes.
the records
And
that I am one of their foster parents or I'm one of those sick or injured seamen.
Okay. So I did ask about the foster parents one.
To the DHHS?
And yes, I'm trying to see. I'll have to bring that up again because
Okay, so what's your question, or were you just sharing what your responses were?
okay, my question is, so do you think that that would be helpful for me to get that out?
No, I don't think you
tonight
should. I
since
think you should
they-
listen to what Charles just said. There doesn't make any sense at this time to try to disqualify every other judge in the court. That's, sometimes we just need to let the paperwork we already sent out work and not allow our fear or anxiety that stems from that fear to make us just start throwing everything we got at the wall. We gotta relax. We gotta breathe,
Okay. Okay,
do some
so
meditation, have some sex, make some nice food, go watch a movie with your family.
Okay, so you're saying that the stuff that I already put in that got it stopped the first time. On
Did
the
y'all hear that?
17th, I
It
think it was.
already got it stopped the first time. The first thing they
Yes.
did was what? Schedule.
Yes.
We're gonna,
As
and
far
then
as I know.
Holly, dumbass, let's just please okay. I would report her for crime.
I know. I need to. I'm working on that today.
Yeah, I would put down the disqualification because you already put the great one in there. You already put in your specific negative averment. Okay.
Right.
So do the criminal complaints against
Okay.
Donald and what's the guy that signed the family court shit? What's his name?
Daniel.
Daniel. I knew it was another D. So we got Donnie and Danny. Criminal complaint, criminal complaints, and bar grievances.
Bar grievances. Okay.
Okay.
And
I would do a notice of liability and intent to sue to Danny since Donnie is already sued. I would literally say, hey, Danny, you want me to invite you with Donnie? Because if you don't, you need to just back the hell up.
well, technically, Donald's not on that one that's in the court right now. It was just Douglas County.
It's Donnie.
Okay.
Because they mentioning the other party's mentioning his name because they scared. But I would still tell them, hey, Danny, you want to be added, you and Donald, to the case that's already
Right,
here as under
right.
conspiracy, since it's obviously retaliation against the county because Danny is saying he's an attorney for the county. So you're acting in retaliation, and I'm going to add you to the case for conspiracy, Danny.
Okay.
So that's the type of stuff I would do.
Okay. And then I've already sent him a disqualification letter with the intent to sue.
Okay, good. He had the intent to sue. Did you specifically tell him it's to the case that's already there for conspiracy?
I did not say specifically. I'm going to add you to. Well, I'll have to go back and look.
Okay. I'm just asking. Not saying you got to send him something else, but I was just curious if it's already in there.
Okay. Case for conspiracy. And then the other thing was, I'm just trying to think. Okay. So yeah, that notice that I sent him, that's been like looked at 56 times.
When did you send it to him?
It was like, I think the day of their fake
Oh,
court date.
Thursday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Either
They opened
Wednesday.
it. Him himself opened it 56 times,
Well, or it's been forwarded. Yeah.
so you only sent it to him personally?
I sent it to him and then I CC'd a bunch of the little cohorts there.
Okay, so they might be counting into that 50?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. And I already disqualified an intent to sue Catherine, who's trying to represent the husband. her
Yeah.
husband.
Yeah, they need the people trying to represent others, they need to definitely get bar grievances.
Okay.
So, and you, as you know, you got a template. So just change the name, turn that shit in.
Okay. And then the only other thing with Donald is, okay, so what I'm noticing he's doing is he's making it so that his hands aren't directly, like I can't say he called in the complaint and I can't say, I can say he's overseeing Daniel who's doing this petition.
Yeah, it's out of
against
his
me.
office. It's coming out of his office. It's still a retaliation. He's still involved.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Got to help. Come say. Go ahead with your question, comment, or emotional outburst.
Yo,
Hey,
So,
bro.
what's the deal? All right, so we work backwards real quick. Just to mention good faith real quick, I think the most important section of the code is gonna be the insurance, because all the insurance is based on good faith, and
All their everything they have is based on good faith. Their whole criminal organization
everything.
rests and falls on good faith.
For Ohio, that's ORC 2744.
Put it in the chat.
Okay. All right. So the attorneys on this case, they hit me the only way I knew they was gonna try, which was motion to strike, right? Because they tried to run everything in my woman's name, and I put my name on the case and shit. But of course, that to me that's automatic due process violation, considering I do live here. But the attorney even went as far as to say, I wasn't living here.
They have no
So I
firsthand
just-
knowledge and shouldn't be speaking. Trenzy versus Pagliaro on their ass. They have no firsthand knowledge. They have no criminal complaint verified, anything.
Right. So I was thinking that's how I should hit him with the due process and the Trinity, yeah.
Is there still
But
is
I
there a judge
also
on the case?
no, there's no judge. They're
Okay,
still
well,
waiting
ain't
on
no
the Supreme
case. I
Court.
wouldn't say shit to them.
Yeah, yeah, because it's still scheduled as if there was supposed to be a hearing. But again, the magistrate put an order on. What she said? She said that they're waiting on the judge, basically. So
What? They ain't no they're waiting on the judge. Ain't no judge. Just been disqualified. They
it
recused
says
their whole self.
a request was submitted to the Supreme Court for a visiting judge. They have no idea how long it's going to be though. So I mean, I don't really know. I've
Did Charles
never
hang
done
up
this.
because his phone was cutting out? Because I'm sure you'd have something to say about that.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping he did for real.
Yeah, no judges. It means nothing. It means they don't have a case. They put in a motion to strike. I would again. They didn't get their own disqualification yet, did they?
No, I
Okay.
put a request for admissions on regarding put a question on regarding their representative capacity, but no.
Did you send it to them directly?
Yes,
They
they
have
got it.
not.
They trying to strike it all.
They're
Yeah,
trying
they
to
trying to
strike
strike
your
it all.
request.
Yeah, they trying to strike. Yeah, all of it. Everything I put on.
Yeah, it's okay. I would let it sit there till the so-called judge show up and then disqualify them too.
Right. Oh, and something else I noticed is that it went 3 of the attorneys their names are missing. There's a new attorney on there, and there's 2 of the same on there. I don't know what the hell they doing. It's like, what is that, musical chairs?
Yeah, they play musical chairs with you, bro. They're scared. There's no judge.
hell is
The judge recruits themselves. There's nothing else. Nothing else. They're filing papers in there because they want to save face, but it's over. Congratulations
I ain't
again,
too.
Dro.
Right. All right. I guess I ain't got nothing to say. I appreciate it.
All right, keep punching them in the face. All right, iPhone, go ahead with your question, comment, emotional outburst. That's right, paper cuts. You still there with us, iPhone?
Yes, I'm sorry. This is Heidi Azza. I, for some reason, have changed my name, but it went back to iPhone again. So sorry.
Hey, Azza.
Okay, yeah. So first of all, I want to do a little report on what's going on with me. I did file the disqualification notice for the judge. I especially put some special things on it where I asked her to fund me some money. I gave her an option to cure, basically, or I would report her and things like that.
How
Haven't heard
can they
anything.
cure stealing your identity and opening in a case without your knowledge or initial express written consent?
Money.
You want
That's
money?
what yeah.
Okay, I
So
hope they
I
don't
just,
take it as you're trying to extort them.
okay, well, I did it anyway, so we'll see what happens.
Okay.
And as of now, they've not been trying to do anything. Everything is quiet. So we'll see what happens. But I also added, thank you. I also added just to make sure, I put a notice of entry for her I gave her an order to do a summary judgment on the case and dismiss it in total. So that
Yeah,
I
well,
could
you're
have all the
asking a
orders
lot in
removed.
did you put that in your disqualification as well?
No, it was later. It was afterwards.
Okay.
You want it?
So, I mean, I wouldn't be asking a judge I disqualified to do a damn thing.
You know why I did it is because of the order of protection that I want removed immediately. That's why. But maybe it was wrong, but I did it.
It
And I
doesn't matter.
also
You're fine. They're
the
the ones
attorney
who are
no
wrong.
authority, exactly. Attorney no authority form. I fired the ad litem attorney for my daughter, and like I said, it's all quiet right now. So that's the news on that. Now,
Awesome.
I have
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm going to report for sure later. Also, I have a question. I have a question about I put in a criminal complaint. I put in a I've made a criminal complaint for the judges, for the police, for the attorneys. And I was just wondering, do I file all those in the police department or different locations for each one?
You can file it in different locations, still like all together, right? You said you did one complaint against all of them?
No. I made many complaints.
You
One
made
against the
separate
judge,
complaints and you want to know where
separate
to file
complaints.
it? Okay,
Yes.
file all of them with a bunch of different agencies, the regular police, the sheriff, the district attorney, the attorney general, at least those 4 places you want to file because they're the ones who take criminal complaints.
Okay. Okay, awesome. Yep, and that's basically it. I did one last thing is I helped Yesenia in a case today. she was having trouble speaking up to the judge, and I put in the chat a bunch of questions, and she just got really angry. She's like, "I'm disqualifying you," and she cut me off. I tried to go back in because I just I couldn't stand how she was abusing defending. So I
Well,
don't know. It's just an interesting little
Just-
occurrence that happened.
That's what I was
today.
saying earlier. You can't just sit back, let your friends get beat up, right?
Exactly. That's how I felt. I was protecting my sister,
That's
and
awesome,
we'll see
Heidi.
what happens. Okay, cool. Thank you. And I
Thank you
yield.
so much for showing up for another friend-in-law. That's awesome.
And I'm gonna start working seriously on the claim now, just so you know. I just wanted to finish
Okay.
it. All right. Okay.
All right. I like how you were giving them grace by pausing on the complaint.
Yeah, just for a minute. Just for a minute.
I hear you, girl.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing. All right, AIM, go ahead with your question, comment, or emotional outburst.
Okay, Malika, thank you. The question that I have, there's two. Actually, I finally was able to get a hold of the issuing agency that issued falsification, and the code that was given to me it's a Georgia code 161025, and I was reading it. It's talking about persons, so I know it has nothing to do with man or woman. But then it says a law enforcement officer in the lawful discharge of his official duties. And so that doesn't even speak to the premise that it has to do anything with private man or private woman, because it's really saying that he is bound. That particular code is really stating the
It's
fact
talking to
that
an officer
that is bound.
that is bound. Exactly.
Correct.
Exactly. I'm glad you were able to recognize that, because that's what they all indicate. Every single code indicates that they're talking about officers that are bound.
Right. So then what happened was when I called the DeKalb County, they were telling me they couldn't locate the case. And I said, well, the incident took place in a different county. And then when I called them, someone gave me a different number because they said, now there's two numbers. But now I was told the case was being transferred to the state. But no one can give me any answers how the case is being transferred to the state and why it's being transferred to the state. And then as I was reading the code, they talked about criminal trespass. It talks about criminal trespassing on defacing, mutilating, defiling grave markers, monuments, and that stuff. And I'm like, okay.
This wasn't even happening. It's like our friend that got charged under a section for gangs, her and her husband. And it specifically says in that section that the definition of a gang is 3 or more. So I kept asking her, where's the third motherfucker? Where's the third? Because if there wasn't 3, you don't fit the definition of gang. They can't charge you under this section, even if you were an agent.
Right. And then they're talking about the United States and the Confederate States of America. And I'm like, okay, where does that fit in for, you know,
It fits in that definition of state.
State, right.
Yeah.
But everything is based on military personnel, and it has nothing to do with private man or private woman. So one of the things I need to do is I'm trying to still find out. I'm still searching the information to get it to the Solicitor General, so that stuff can be expunged from the record. But I haven't been able to
You
get
just
that.
gotta start sending off notices, even if it's to the wrong place, and let them tell you what the right place is. Because if you sit around on your notice looking for a Solicitor General and that position may not even exist, go where you know. Ask the Attorney General's office, ask the district attorney, ask the prosecuting attorney for the county.
Okay. Because that's the only thing that I'm fine. I've got everyone else lined up. That was the only one else, because it seems like this Office of Solicitor, General is working in conjunction with the AG.
Okay.
The Attorney General.
I know that states have different classifications or whatever for different positions. But if the Solicitor General is working with the Attorney General, then they should be in the same office. So
Okay,
if you send it to the Attorney General office generally, and they go, oh, this is for the Solicitor General, let them find the Solicitor General and give it to them.
Okay.
All right?
that'll work. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for your question. Spirit Power. Go ahead with your question, comment, or emotional outburst. Spirit Power, going once, going twice. Okay, Donna, go ahead with your question, comment, or emotional outburst.
Just two questions. The first question is for the current the people that you were looking for the housing. You said that they needed to be current on that alleged mortgage. Are those the only people that you were taking?
For this particular project, we're asking that you are current on your mortgage. We already have things for people who are not current on their mortgage, which is what Megan was talking about, kicking ass in court. Am woman, she's kicking so much ass in court that the attorneys are trying to attack her with CPS. So we have things in place in the mortgage-free classroom already for people who are not current in the mortgage. But the next study group that we are talking about putting together, we're looking for people who are current in their mortgage.
Okay, I just wanted confirmation with that. And then I have another question. I have been asking in the chat because I'm the one with the employment termination. I'm really having a tough time, and I was trying to see if anyone could actually help assist me because
Ooh,
I would be
so when you say employment termination, you were working for someone and you
yes,
terminate, or you were terminated, or you terminated someone.
I was terminated.
Okay, and you love your job?
No.
Okay, so move on.
No, but I have no,
What?
but she's right in that sense, but I have some other things, and this is like I know this is going to be in a group chat, but that's why I wanted to talk to you because I have some other things that's in place over there. I'm not trying to get that particular job back, but I am trying to do some things with that job, how they terminated me.
Did they retaliate on you for something?
Yeah, and then
Is that what you're saying?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go look at 31 USC 3730H.
Put that in the chat.
Okay.
All right, I'm putting it in the chat now.
Well, am I able to speak with you, Joe, just to get a little clarity? Is that possible?
He's putting it in the chat.
Yeah, just get with me on Lawful Living.
Okay. And what's your name on Lawful Living? Is it
Just Joe.
Okay, thank you, Joe.
Yeah, it's JUSJOE. Just yeah, JUSJOE.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Donna.
Malika, can you hear me now?
Yes, Spirit Power, I can hear you.
Listen, I started the class last week, so I'm a newbie, and I had a house taken or a couple years ago, and I want to know the steps that I need to take. Do I need to take the mortgage class, or what?
I would absolutely recommend doing the mortgage class as well as the PMAP class because I'm myself, I know I didn't say this earlier, but I'm doing a reclamation of our home that was taken from us in Texas.
Okay.
In 2015, just like that young lady that was on a few minutes ago saying that they took her house in 2015. I'm going to be sharing the information in the PMAP class because that's where we go over suing people. I have recently made a claim like I showed everybody for the tax. I'm suing the county because taxes are only for property owned by the county that someone is running a business opportunity on top of. That's the only type of property according to their code and this is every state. So I'm suing the county. I put that case in that PMAP group. I just sued Lennar. I started in a state agency called the Department of Financial Institutions. I did that on Thursday of last week. So, and I'm going to do the reclamation of our property in Texas. And I'm going to let you guys see that. I'm doing it off of the template that I already have created and have shared with dozens of people that are in the PMAP group. So I highly recommend to get in there. But the foundation of the information of how to search for your own and how to use the ones that we've already found for the federal codes are in the mortgage-free group.
Okay. So are those classes pre-recorded?
Yes.
Or do they meet?
The classes are pre-recorded, but we have them in a group and we share constantly in that group. We do special videos if we need to. We have powwows and study sessions and all that.
And what day is that?
It's whenever we announce it.
Okay.
So if you're in the group, you will absolutely see it.
And last question. When you say donations, is there like a minimum?
No. If I had a minimum donation, I would make it known. If I had a minimum donation, it will always be known. There would be no guessing. You would never have to text me how much. And when people text me how much, if I respond, I always say as much as possible. If I don't respond, which is what I do most of the times, I just don't respond. It means you're probably never going to get in, because if I had a set price, it would be on there. I think everybody who has a set price of anything, it would be posted. If it's not posted and it says give a donation, that means it's up to you, but don't insult me, because I also don't respond to that. And I do keep it. Okay.
Got it.
That's
Alright.
right, Mama.
Thank you for your questions. Shalonda, wow, we might be able to get to everybody today. Woo!
Hey everybody. I just need to know at this point, what do I need to do about the particular situation that I'm going through. I think I've already had spoken about it several months back, but some things has transpired since then. I think I posted some of it in on Lawful Living. But nevertheless, I went and got a car from a car lot. I think you probably remember. And when I left before I left the car lot, the guy gave me the keys. He said, this car is not financed, or you don't have a loan on it or anything. So when I call you, I don't care what you're doing, answer the phone. Okay. I was like, okay. He gave me the keys. I got the car. I left the car lot. So probably about several weeks after that, I got a phone call from somebody, and it said that your car payment is 14 days past due. I said, what car payment? I have not properly been in a contract with anybody. So what car note are you talking about? They was like, well, yeah, you do have a contract. I was like, well, can you send me the contract that I signed or whatever that was done or whatever? So the lady said she was sending it to me. So she was like, you should have it by now. I was like, well, no, I don't have it. Maybe you didn't send it. Can you send it again? So she said she sent it again. So I was like, well, no, I don't have it, because I'm looking through my email to see, has it come through? It hadn't come through. She was like, well, what is your email address? So I gave her my email address. So she was like, well, that's not the email address that we have on file for you. She was like, is your email address not da 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 da? I was like, no, ma'am, that's not my email address. So she was like, well, okay, well, I'm sending it to you anyway. So she sent me what I guess was exchanged back and forth between them and whoever sent it to them. So after she sent me that, so I'm like, well, this is not my signature. I didn't do all of this, blah, 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 nevertheless. So I contacted somebody to ask them about it, and of course, and I talked to you guys about it, and I think you guys said that it was identity theft, right? So I called the district attorney's office in the county that I got the car, and I told the district attorney's office, about everything that I just told you guys, and I told them that I was advised to call them to, make a complaint. So the district attorney office told me that I needed to call to make a police report first, and they would pick it up from the police report. So by the time I got
That's
ready
a lie.
to go, so by the time I got ready to go down to the police, take off to go down to make the police report, so that the district attorney could get the police report, a few weeks later, I'm sure I posted it on things. Somebody had killed the person that worked at the dealership.
Oh my God.
The young lady that, when I looked at the contract that was so-called signed by me and the person at the dealership, that person that signed that, well, the other party.
Right. The
is
other party
that
is
got
now
killed.
deceased.
She's now deceased. So it was all on the news that she was deceased and everything. Somebody went in and killed her, whatever, this and the other, at the dealership.
The dealership.
At the dealership. They went inside the dealership while she was at work and killed her. Okay. So I had been communicating back and forth with you because I was trying to do the 15 USC 1692, right? So I sent the fifth, well, first of all, the company that called me saying that I had the contract with them, and I told them that I don't have the contract, and I called them back. I was like, I don't know where y'all got that email address from, who signed this contract back and forth, but at this point it's identity theft. I don't have any communication with you guys. So a couple of weeks later, that's when I got a letter, and the letter said it was from another company that said that they had, I guess, bought the loan from the other company,
oh my God.
or the other company gave them they took up the loan. Nevertheless, well, the first payment that this company called me and told me that I was behind on, this other company paid that payment.
That's what they're saying, of course. The other company paid
Yeah.
it, so now you owe that too?
So the other company said that they paid that first payment and they was gonna put me back on track. So now just start sending the payments to them. So I sent them the 15 USC 1692. I sent it to them. Well, I sent it to them like maybe a week or so ago. And like 2 or 3 days ago, I got a ding on my phone about my credit report. They already put it on the credit report about the missed payment for because the payment, I haven't made a payment since I had the car. I had the car
Right.
like almost 6 months now.
Awesome.
So they
That's an
I
easy
sent,
fix though. That's an ezy fix. Credit report ding.
let me finish. Okay. So I sent the 15 USD, all that. They put it on the credit report. So I had been talking to some people and I was like, well, I'm gonna, do the sue along and file the suits and all this kind of stuff. Even though the young lady is passed away, I'm still gonna file the suit against the dealership and whoever else. And then I seen on the news the other day that one of the persons, the owner of the dealership, I can say, is they caught the person who did the murder. Okay, they got that person in jail. But apparently that person has told them that it was a murder for hire. So
What?
the owner of the dealership hired that person to kill that girl inside the dealership. So now they're looking
What?
for him.
Yeah, this is Lifetime movie or something, or Netflix, isn't it?
This is real life. I have put my hands on these people. I have touched
Oh
these
my
people. I have communicated with these people.
Oh my goodness.
I
Yeah,
don't
this
necessarily think that you need to do a case. I'm not telling you what to do. Of course, you can file a case if you wish. But if it's just debt collectors coming after you, they're easy to beat.
So I guess my question is, with you saying that, so nobody has tried to come and repossess the car as of yet.
Well, that would require them suing you first in a court, and we'd have to go through that whole stuff in order for it to get to the point of repo.
Okay, and even if it get to that point, can't nobody come to court because that girl dead, right?
They're not going to have anybody with firsthand knowledge, so that court's going to be easy to beat too.
Emotional outbursts. The dealership mob. Watch out for the deal.
The dealership mob and the municipal mob, brother.
I'll stay away too.
Yeah, I don't think you have to go through suing them first. I think you're in a very good position to beat them. Even if they try to name you as a defendant, you can disqualify the judge. You could dismiss them for lack of standing, stuff like that.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing that wild, wild story, and congratulations on your car.
Thank you.
Wow, guys. We be getting some craziness going on in our lives when we start engaging these people. Wow. All right. Think we might have to have one more, guys. Go ahead, Samaya, with your question, comment, or emotional outburst.
Real quick question. So probably one more person. I have an issue with DHS requesting information from my sister's employer. So I used I used the Privacy Act and basically told them that they couldn't request information without authorization from her. But they now are not. They're becoming more relentless, and they're not giving up on trying to force the employer into a position of giving them her information. The HR is really good. He's like, I don't want to give it to them, but I'm also need to know what to say or not to give it to them.
Subpoena. If he don't have a subpoena, Deuces Tecum, he doesn't have to do anything. That's
Okay.
law. All he has to do is reply to say, hey, send me a subpoena and a Deuces Tecum, and I'll give you because a subpoena is a court order. So basically he's saying, give me a court order or leave me alone. And that's law.
Okay. I will relay that to them and see,
Yeah.
let them know that. But thank you so much. So the case
You're
is
welcome.
going, they're a little bit upset because they can't get what they need from me, from her, which is I'm pretending to be her, release of authorization to talk to her job. So they're like pissed off right now. They're like sending him basically all kind of like threatening emails that he has to do this and have to do that.
Mhm.
So then they said the Privacy Act doesn't apply to them because they're not a federal organization, they're a state organization.
There's state
Fine.
privacy act that still applies, and you cannot have a law that disregards the federal constitution because it's the supremacy clause.
Right. That's what I was thinking. I just wanted to make sure my thought, my lines of thought was on the correct
Yeah.
path. Which
The
was
state has
telling me.
privacy act clause, and of course you could see right in the state constitution that it says preemption federal trumps. So you can use both of them. You know,
Okay, cool.
actually, you get to do an actually on them.
Actually, thank you guys.
You're welcome. Glad to help. All right, we got We got no more, guys. It's 3 o'clock. No more, guys. You know, one of the things I will say is I appreciate every single question that you guys asked. I would prefer the questions to be about what we went over today. I'm glad we got the questions in there anyway. We will start back doing general Q&A questions for those who just do have general questions. But I'd hate to think that some of us that are not able to get our answers are actually here for what we went over today. So I hope that means that everybody got everything that they were able to get today out of the call, and that you will go back and do your homework, which is finding those same sections that we talked about with the definition of person and the things that they have to act in good faith. And so we'll come back and continue that document. This is just notes. The document I'm talking about is just our notes section that I went over today. When I say our notes, it's because everybody's notes are supposed to look just like mine, even if you have your own state constitution. If you go back over the last 4 or 5 videos that we've done in the Friends in Law group, you will be able to catch up. Peace.